Temperatures in the 70s couldn't ask for a better day for some high-stakes Sun Belt Conference football. The Texas State Bobcats are in the middle of their best season in nearly a decade. Their next win could lead to the program's first ever bowl appearance. Meanwhile, at 6-2, the Georgia Southern Eagles control their own destiny to reach next month's championship game. Alongside Keith Moreland, I'm Brant Freeman, coming to you from Bobcat Stadium. And Keith, here we are in November. The stakes are getting higher, everything now magnified.
Yeah, everything magnified. For Texas State, they've got to find a way to get another win to get bowl eligible. On the other side of the ledger, the Eagles got to win to have an opportunity to play in the championship game. Both teams can line up the scoreboard.
They really can as you look at where they rank in the Sun Belt Conference in scoring, total offense. Bobcats a bit more balanced than Georgia Southern, but the Eagles can't sling it. On that note, Keith, what do you have for today's keys to the game?
Well, I think when you first look at this game, you would think, well, high-scoring game. Well, got to be balanced. Got to run the ball offensively for the Eagles a little bit, and they got to wreak havoc on the defensive side. On the other side, win first down and protect the football for the Bobcats.
All right, let's now check in with Cool Riggs down at the sidelines.
Brant, really the name of the game today is turnovers, and that's been a key for this Eagles defense all season. In fact, in Georgia Southern's 6 wins so far, they have had at least 3 turnovers, have forced at least 3 turnovers in each. And head coach Clay Helton said they have to just stay consistent. You know, if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. On the other side of things, though, the Bobcats, they're actually coming off a loss where they actually committed 4 turnovers. Now, GJ Kinney said to keep it simple today, and keeping it simple means taking care of the football. Brant?
All right, thanks, Coral. Again, a lot on the line today. The Eagles looking to remain in the driver's seat in the Sun Belt Conference East Division. For the Bobcats, again, trying to become bowl eligible for the first time in 9 years. Texas State has won the toss. We'll see G.J. Kinney's offense on the field first.
Yeah, going to be going into a pretty stiff breeze, Brant, as we start the ball game.
Opening kickoff from Michael Lance, and off we go. A touchback starts the game as we look at Bobcat quarterback T.J. Finley. And again, Keith, last week just too many mistakes, 2 critical interceptions.
Yeah, the 2 interceptions, only 5 on the year, but 2 last week. The other thing, I don't think his decision-making last week was as quick. He was as precise. He's got to come out, make decisions quickly, get the ball out of his hands.
Finley did start last week really well. In fact, he engineered a game-opening 84-yard touchdown drive in the loss against Troy. Man in the offense here for his 9th start of the season. And Texas State's first play is a run for Ishmael Mahdi. And Mahdi breaking a tackle, breaking free off the right side. Good start for the Bobcats. A gain of 12 yards starts their day.
Boy, he has just been outstanding all year. If you do not wrap him up, he will not give up, and they're right back to the line of scrimmage. Here they go.
Facing an Eagle defense, which during this 2-game winning streak has been really good, creating havoc. They forced 7 turnovers, sacking the opposing quarterback 7 times. And wins over ULM and last week over rival Georgia State. Mahdi again the call there, good for about 4 yards.
Oh. Player down, that's the right guard, Brett Walker. He can't get himself to his feet. That's a big loss.
Yeah, that is Bray Walker, and in every sense of the term, Keith, a big loss. 6'7", 350 pounds. First year transfer from Oklahoma. 5-star recruit coming out of high school, has been a big part of this offensive line that was overhauled over the offseason. It's a Bobcat offensive line which has already been without their captain, Nash Jones, since week 2 of the season.
Yeah, and they've had to do so much shuffling, and Walker's really slid into that right guard spot, and he's been an integral part. You hope that's not something long-term. He is able to get up and put a little weight on it as he comes off the field here, but something we will watch is this ball game just getting underway.
And something G.J. Kinney said in terms of what this game comes down to. He thinks it's his offensive line against that front from Georgia Southern, and a big part of that just hobbled off of the sidelines. So after the gain of 4 from Mahdi, it is 2nd down and 6. Third play of the drive coming up for T.J. Finley, who's thrown a lot of passes underneath in recent weeks. Past 2 games averaging less than 6 yards per pass attempt. If you're G.J. Kinney and offensive coordinator Mac Leftwich, might want to think about going vertical here. Finley gets out of a sack somehow. On the run, Finley forced out by Marquez Watson-Trent. Sideline looking for a flag. It's not coming. Instead, it's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Watson-Trent is a tremendous player. I mean, he's got 79 tackles now, 80 after this one right here. He's a tackling machine. He leads their team, doubled anybody else on their team in tackles.
Yeah,
huge 3rd down here.
79 for Watson-Trent. Nobody else has more than 35 on this Eagles defense.
That's incredible.
A player that leads by example in production when talking to head coach Clay Helton. 3rd down and 7. Finley over the middle has got a man open, and that's Cole Wilson spinning out of a tackle. Has a block downfield. Turns on the Jets and takes it inside the 25-yard line.
They caught the Eagles in a man coverage. I said it right before the snap. You see the motion, you see the man. It's just really tough to cover Wilson on a quick inside slant there for the 1st down.
Gain of 37 yards. That's big for the Bobcats because they had 0 plays of over 30 yards last week against Troy. 1st down and 10. Finley takes a shot over the middle, and a walk-in touchdown starts the game for Joey Hobert.
The Georgia Southern's come out and said, we're going to play you man. Well, these receivers are doing a great job, and they're coming after. The offensive line holds up. G.J. Kinney talked about that this week where he said, hey, we got to hold up on the offensive front. They do. Take it right down the field. Put it in the end zone. Didn't take long, less than 3 minutes.
7th touchdown catch of the year for Hobert. That leads the team. And for the Bobcats, a 5-play, 75-yard drive starts it. Talked about the fireworks we could see today. The Bobcats get the scoring started first, and the Eagles are looking to respond. 12:45 to go in the opening quarter. Bobcats early lead over the visitors out of Statesboro, Georgia. This Bobcat team has made a habit of bouncing back. You look at their first 3 losses of the year, coming back from each of those games with a win. We're going to see what today unfolds, but so far, Keith, a good start. G.J. Kinney's team on the opening drive, 75 yards, and Finley looked sharp.
They did. Converted the 1 3rd down they had with a big play, and it came out. The Eagles came out and decided we're going to try to man them up in the first series. And I tell you what, Bobcats took advantage of that with some good inside slant moves. And when you bring pressure with man, if you don't get to the quarterback, it's going to be difficult to hold up.
A G.J. Kinney coach team, whether at Carter Ward or here at Texas State, has never lost back-to-back games.
That's an incredible stat.
And trying to keep that trend going today is DeAndre Buchanan awaits deep for Georgia Southern. And Eagles offense, which like the Bobcats, can light it up. And they're looking to respond after this kick from Matthew Velasco.
Scoring is not something that bothers them. The Eagles are going to put balls in the end zone.
The Eagles team coming off its first win over rival Georgia State since 2019. And here is the return from Buchanan. Got across the 20s, got some blockers to the outside. Buchanan going left down the sidelines. There he goes inside the 30, inside the 20, and stopped just short of the 15-yard line. No flags on the play.
Well, just a great kick return. They had a left return on. The kick went to the right. Outside contained, lost contained right here, and just allowed him down the field. It's a nice job giving ground. And yes, you gave up a bit of return, but you didn't let it into the end zone. But what great starting field position for Georgia Southern. Great return.
Davis Brin, the quarterback for the Eagles, wearing the number 0 today for Georgia Southern. More on that coming up throughout the broadcast. Among the nation leaders in passing yards, has had a tendency of turning it over there, though. You see the 12 interceptions against 17 touchdowns. Jalen White, the first play from scrimmage for the Eagles, a good run. Driving the legs forward to the 11-yard line for about 7. Will bring up 2nd and 3.
Well, that's something they want to establish. They want to be a little more equal you know, they can sling it with anybody. So, but they've got to get a little running game going, and a good start there.
And White has had a huge workload during this 2-game winning streak, over 50 carries between the last 2 games against ULM and Georgia State, going over 100 each time. Here's Brent on the run, slides to the 10, but his slide began at the 11. That's where it's marked down, and now the Eagles facing third down for the first time.
Yeah, these corners are going to under a lot of pressure today for the Bobcats. You've got to get it done on the outside, try to take away these 2 big receivers. They did a nice job there. Some changes as 4 wide receivers into the game for Georgia Southern.
Eagles, a very good third down team, second best in the conference. Motion from the big threat, Caleb Hood. Brin looking, well protected. Brin backpedaling, throwing it away.
Well, that's just great coverage. That's a coverage for Brin had nowhere to go. They were trying to do a move on the outside where they faked the bubble screen, hit the blocker that's going downfield. It's not there. It's taken away. It does a nice job buying time, but nowhere to go with the football. Leads to a field goal attempt.
Brings out Michael Lance, senior kicker, having a really good season, 15 of 19 on the year. And he will try from 28 yards out to put the Eagles on the board. So a 3-and-out for the offense, but this after the huge kick return from Buchanan, and the Eagles settle for 3. 7-3, Texas State on top. And again, Keith, you talk about the stakes in this game. Georgia Southern. Now, James Madison does lead the East Division, but the Eagles are the ones who are actually in first because the Dukes are not postseason eligible
at this point.
That's
Next
right.
year will be their first year.
So if the Eagles win out, you're talking about your East Division representative right here.
No question. And you know, that's a lot on the line. And let's just look at the beginning. Great kick return for Texas State. They do a great job. Sudden change defense is another point that coaches talk about all the time. What do you do when you have a sudden change? Well, when you get an 82-yard kickoff return, you get a 3-and-out, leads to a field goal attempt. That's a nice job there. Offensively for the Eagles on the other side of that, they're going to go back over and really look at that because, Brant, when you look at it, they gained 7 yards on the first down run and went 0 for 2 trying to get any more yards than that.
Again, the win for the Eagles last week over Georgia State, beg your pardon. And when you talk to Clay Helton, he tells you this team is so much further along this year than it was last year. Sitting at 6-2, winners of 2 in a row. Only setbacks on the road at JMU and at Wisconsin. And the Bobcats will come out on offense, leading 7-3, starting for their own 25. And again, we saw the big play offense from G.J. Kinney on that opening drive that we didn't see last week, as there is a Bobcat down. This is Bobby Crosby down to the field for Texas State. Crosby getting hurt in special teams. On defense, he's a backup safety, and the safety position's already kind of thin.
Yes, it is.
For Texas State, Torrey Spears out for the year. Crosby's kind of taken more and more snaps because of that injury to Spears. So if he's unable to go, that secondary taking another blow for G.J. Kinney.
Boy, it is. Now, Holton and Cup have been outstanding. That's not to say that between them they've got 100 tackles, so they've been good at that safety position. But you know, it's one of those things too when you think back, well, how did I get hurt on a ball that went out of the back of the end zone? Sometimes that is a non-contact type scenario.
Good sign there, Crosby being helped up. And he's going to check out to the sidelines, presumably to the medical tent here in a moment.
All right, in the first drive, a big third down conversion, inside slant. We saw the Georgia Southern come out and play a lot of man. See what they do here in this second possession, because there are times when coordinators look at it and say, I don't like what we did there. Let's come out with something different. And they're showing a 2-deep shell right now in a zone coverage.
Second drive of the game for Texas State. Went 75 yards in 5 plays on their opening drive. This is Holbert on that receiver's sweep to his left. Holbert breaking free across the 40-yard line, and Big dose of Joey Hobart early on for Texas State.
No, good seal block, great deception in the backfield. Gets a good seal on the outside, and they're right back to the line of scrimmage, and here they go.
Hobart was kind of held in check last week against Troy. He's been let loose so far today. As Ismail Mahdi pounds the rock for about 5 yards. Good first down play. And you said this earlier, Keith. First down is a down. Texas State has to win.
If they win first down, they can get into this NASCAR hurry-up mode, and defensively you can't make adjustments.
2nd and 4. Mahdi again. Mahdi taken down eventually by T.J. Smith at the 35-yard line. And another drive for the Bobcats moving like clockwork.
And then they come right back. No substitutions. The defense can't substitute. Finley right back to the line to run it again. Right now they've been able to run it or throw it.
Mahdi coming off a big game against Troy, went over 100 yards for the 3rd time this year. Coming into the game, he's $146 away from becoming the first 1,000-yard back for this program since 2014. That ball spun over the middle by Finley. It's incomplete. Looking for Cole Wilson. Shamar Bartholomew on coverage for the Eagles.
A little RPO that time, and Finley, that was one he pulled it out, and when he pulled it out, the coverage was so good. You can see the rhythm and the timing was off just because of the great coverage in the secondary.
2nd and 10, inside of 10 minutes to go. Eagles riding a 2-game winning streak. Bobcats trying to avoid a 2-game slide. Mahdi spinning away the 30 and tracked down by Tyrell Davis. Good 2nd down play. Bring up 3rd and short.
I tell you what, he is just really difficult one-on-one to bring down. Had him in a shot at it, broke that tackle. Now 3rd down.
Bobcats again working quick. Here's Mahdi breaking through the line and will move the sticks again. So far, Keith, the play calling of 3rd down has been sharp for Texas State.
Just a good trap block right here. You pull the tight end from the far side, comes across the formation, does Fox, and makes a great block right at the point of attack in the 1st down.
Bobcats now nearing the red zone where they've had some issues in recent weeks. Last 13 trips inside the 20, they've come away with touchdowns only 4 times. Why not give it to Mahdi again? They get a heavy workload here, stacked up this time by that Eagle defense, M.J. Stroud and Kadri Jackson on the tackle.
Now a substitution as Davenport in at tailback. It allows the defensive front to substitute. And those 3 big guys coming out of the game right there, you know, big guys get tired on these long possessions. So good change for the Eagles to get a new front in the lineup.
Look there, Davion Rhodes. Sophomore for the Eagles on their defensive line. 2nd and 8.
Man coverage.
Finley so far 3 of 4 passing. Throws out one over the middle, and there's a flag. Was looking for Ashton Hawkins, and they're going to get Jamel Hickman on the hold for Georgia Southern.
Brent, it is so, as an ex-defensive back, your inside releases are so important. Hawkins gets inside him. And then once you give up that leverage of inside as a defensive back, you have to try to come in front. He knew he couldn't cut in front and knock it off, so he just reached up and got it, piece of him as the ball was in the air.
Bobcats piecing together another drive. They had several long drives over the past few weeks. They play this drive coming up, 1st and goal inside the 10. And here's a quick pass to Cole Wilson, breaking free inside the 5-yard line, then taken down by Mark Stampley. That'll set up 2nd down and goal.
Bartholomew just an outstanding job, 17 on the outside. He's the guy that makes the play. He reads it. He doesn't get credit for the tackle, but he slows everything down and lets the help come from the inside.
Each team making some substitutions here.
Cheater in the tailback position.
First time he's checked in, good short yardage back. Has 4 rushing touchdowns on the year, and 3 of those are in goal-to-go situations. So this is where they like using him the most. They're going to flip it instead. This is Hobart back into the outside, and he's going to be slung down. How about the job in space by Tyrell Davis?
Well, Davis does a great job. He sees it, reads it, free safety. He says, no, you're not going to get the corner on me. So he just takes it from the outside, and they don't get around the edge. Now it's going to be a huge third down, and you're back out at the 7-yard line.
Remember, Findlay on 3rd and goal last week threw a pick in the end zone. If you're Findlay here, ball security paramount. It's a big message from his head coach, G.J. Kinney, throughout the week. If the play's not there, throw it away, settle for 3.
Eagles look like a blitz coming.
They're going to bring it. Findlay loses the football. That ball is live, and the Eagles recover. Jumping on the football for Georgia Southern is Isaac Walker.
Moving on the field, backward pass, recovered by the defense, 1st and 10, Georgia Southern.
It looked like it was never secured by Findlay, and it was a quarterback draw. Ball gets knocked out of his hands, goes backwards. How big a defensive stop for that? You remember that. Circle that drive. It's a chance to go up 14-0 with the 1st and goal at the 8.
Boy, it feels like deja vu, Keith, from last week. It was the 2nd possession of the game last week for the Bobcats. A turnover on 3rd and goal, and it happens for his 2nd straight week. And the Eagles getting on another turnover, the 20th they have forced this year. Top 10 nationally, and turnovers forced. Now Bren going to work, going to hand it off at a big gaping hole for Jalen White off that left side. Good for about 10 yards, and a good start of the drive for Georgia Southern.
That came back to the short side, lined up 3 receivers to the left, come back to the short side of the field. Good blocking out in front. Enough for the 1st down.
And Jalen White now closing in on 2,000 career yards rushing. After the gain of 10, Bren zips one over the middle. Bobcats say it hit the turf for Derwin Burgess. And that is an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Just down in front. Didn't want to lead the guy. Anytime that inside slant, you've got a free safety. You don't want to lead it up and out where he can get. You want to throw it down and in, sort of, and let him go down and get it. Just couldn't secure it.
Boy, Burgess has really thrived in this offense under Clay Helton dating back to last year. Over 100 catches in this system. Bren looking, and he locates Caleb Hood. Good open field tackle made by Brian Holloway. Going to bring up 3rd down.
Now, Holloway, heart and soul of this defense, no question, for the Bobcats. Always around. He gets that big paw, and 0 gets you. Most of the time you go to the ground, and he gets it done right there.
Bobcats defensively have had some issues throughout the year getting off the field in 3rd down. Looking for a 3rd down stop here after the offense turned it over. Motion from Caleb Hood. Bren steps up, stands, fires, and a 1st down inside of midfield. A bullet to Anthony Quealy to move the chains.
What a catch. I mean, this is balls behind him to the inside, sets down in the soft spot of the zone, and this is a rocket right at him. How about that? Going up with those hands and bringing it down.
First-year transfer out of Syracuse. Quealy's been quiet as of late. First catch in 3 games, but a big one with 5 minutes to go in the 1st. Eagles on the move, fit play of the drive. Off the play action. Bren lofting that one deep to the sidelines, incomplete. Going for Burgess. Chris Mills on coverage, but there was a flag when the pass was thrown.
This is going to be roughing the passer. Ball was incomplete, but you said just.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, 15, automatic 1st down.
Trentus Livingston, our head official, his mic was breaking up there. I believe the call was against Jordan Rebels.
He's got a free shot. You just got to pull off just at the end. And he just took 2 extra steps to get there. And it's going to get called pretty much every time.
Penalties were huge for this defense last week. Bobcats were penalized 4 times, 3 of those against the defense. All 3 were 15-yard penalties. Drive extenders. White up the middle. Honest gain of about 3. With the Eagles on the move, a drive that began after the Bobcats coughed up the ball on goal to go inside the 10.
Now hurry up, empty back the Eagles.
Davis Bren, first-year transfer from Tulsa. operating the offense, and the ball is stripped, and Bren able to jump back on it. Saw the pressure coming from Ben Bell.
Ben Bell just outstanding. Gets off the ball quickly, gets that hand up. Watch him get it before it gets out of his hand. Leaks out with the left hand, knocks it away. Brings up a huge third down.
Bell coming off a big game against Troy, couple of sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Could be a tear for opposing quarterbacks. And now forces a 3rd and 15.
Showing man free. They're manning up on every receiver with a free safety.
Eagles looking for their 4th first down of the drive. White on the draw, exploding inside the 20. White on the run all the way to the end zone. What a play. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
What a call. Go to the draw, and White, just great blocking up front. Gets the Bobcats in man. Anytime you're in man and you don't go to a pass, guys are not seeing it. Makes one guy miss right there, and then it's out to everybody, runs everybody to the corner.
7th rushing touchdown of the year for White. Clay Helton told us earlier in the week he is the key to the team's success. They put a lot on his shoulders in recent weeks. No O.J. Arnold available again today to spell him. And White answers the bell with a 39-yard gallop into the end zone, and the Eagles have their first lead. Jalen White, over 2,000 rushing yards now in his career. This play put the Eagles on top, 10-7. Clay Helton told us that takeaways fuel this Georgia Southern team, and a huge takeaway with the Bobcats driving inside the 10 leads to an eventual go-ahead touchdown drive. 73 yards in 7 plays. And again, Keith, how about the call itself? 3rd and 15, the Eagles go draw. Jalen White goes 39 yards.
Well, it was just an excellent call. Caught the Bobcats in a perfect defense for that draw, but that's a 14-point swing in a matter of 3 minutes of football time, where it looked like it was going to be a 14-3 Bobcat lead. Instead, you look up the scoreboard, Eagles with the lead.
Eagles offensive coordinator Brian Ellis throughout the season has said he's looking for 7 plays each game of 20 yards or more. Got one for 39 there moments ago. So the Bobcats looking to respond, now trailing 10-7. TJ Finley, the Bobcats back at offense when we come back. We talked about it. Davis Bren wearing the number 0 today, the 9th player to wear that number this season. It's kind of a badge of honor for Georgia Southern. Talking to Clay Helton, what does it mean? Players who show 0 softness, 0 selfishness, and 0 accountability issues, and he hopes in the case of Davis Bren, it also means 0 interceptions today.
He's thrown 12, but one ball game was the one that has the most, and that happened in Madison, Wisconsin.
I know Coral excited to talk about Bren later in the broadcast, playing in his home state of Texas. Both Coral and Bren from the same area in Boerne, just outside of St. Marcus. A lot of friends and family here for Davis Bren. As Lee has to stop there for the Eagles, it's going to bring up 2nd down and 9.
Nice job up front. Really no place to go. Wrapped him up. Brings him to the ground. He's going to bring it up 2nd and long. Got to win first down if you're the Bobcats.
Terrian Lee Jr. rather on the stop there for the Eagles. First year transfer from Texas A&M. The Eagles got off the line there pretty quick, and Finley brought down for a sack. Justin Rhodes, player that's got a ton of penetration this year, is 7 tackle for loss. And the Bobcats are staring at 3rd and 16.
Well, he just got off the ball so quickly. Finley had to try to step up early and couldn't get it out of his hands. Now, a scenario you don't want to be in, 3rd and long.
An offensive line missing some parts right now. Bray Walker left the game earlier for Texas State, their big right guard. And so now the Bobcats having to shuffle the deck a bit up front. Eagles only going to bring 3, a draw for the Bobcats. Motti breaking a few tackles, Monty crossed the 30, a good run, but short of the first down, and Texas State goes 3 and out.
Well, it's all about the first down play. No yardage, put it behind the chains, had to throw it, and then they go for the sack on second down. And this is a wonderful run. Monty just makes a lot of people miss. He's exciting with the football in his hand, but you gain 8 or 9, you're still 5-6 yards short.
So the Bobcats punting for the first time. Seamus O'Kelly punted twice last week. Caleb Hood back to return. And O'Kelly got the punt off, but there's a flag. Could be roughing the kicker coming up here against Georgia Southern.
I think if it's running into the kicker, it's going to be a first down because it was 4th and 5.
Georgia Southern could be very aggressive on special teams. They have blocked a kick each of the last 2 weeks. But this time committing a penalty will keep the possession with Texas State.
That's a huge break. And it is going to be running into the kicker. We have not heard the announcement. It's only the 5-yard variety, but it's going to be enough for the first down.
Trentus Livingston talking to G.J. Kinney about it.
First and 10.
That's how important the run by Monty was before that, just to get it back to a 5 yards. And the running into the kicker gives them the first down, and the drive continues.
All right, so the Bobcats here, some new life, trailing for the first time. Third drive of the game for Texas State. First ended with a touchdown, the second with a turnover. They moved the ball well. Looking to finish some more drives here. Here's Davenport with a big hole. Davenport, look at that move in the open field. Davenport knifes his way for about 14 yards.
Now, nice blocking up front. Got a good seal to the outside. A little double team up front and a seal. Gets it almost to the 50.
Didn't really see much of Davenport last week against Troy. Monty had the lion's share of carries. This time forced back. Tyrell Davis has made a couple of plays for the Eagles. Ball comes out, but Davenport was down. A loss of 2 and it's 2nd and 12.
Women on the field, forward progress before the ball became loose. Second down.
You know, we talk about Texas State and their ability to get tackles in the backfield. Well, the Eagles are right behind them in the conference in tackles for loss per game. That's their 4th already of the afternoon.
Yeah. TFLs will change what you do offensively, no question.
It changes the whole dynamic.
Yes, it does.
You get behind the change of first and second down. That makes third down almost impossible to convert.
Empty here. Too much time.
Delay a game coming up against Texas State.
Delay game, offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remain down.
1 step forward, 2 step back for the Bobcats after that huge opportunity after the running into the kicker here. Now it's 2nd, 16.
Yeah, between flags and turnovers, self-inflicted wounds, and G.J. Kinney saying that they've got to clean up their mistakes. Really, even just 2 or 3 of them can really hurt them in any game. We've seen that today. 2nd down, 17. Finley slings that for Sean Shaw. Back to the original line of scrimmage, or close to it. That'll end the first quarter. So for Georgia Southern, 2 big plays outside of offense, a big kick return and a big defensive turnover, helping lead to 10 Eagle points. At the end of 1, the Eagles hold a 10-7 lead over the Bobcats in San Marcos. Today is Heroes Day as the Bobcats here honor veterans who have served in the military. One of those honorees, Tyler Huff, got to partake in the ceremonial motorcycle drive through the tunnel. Tyler Huff wrapped up his playing career this past year before he started playing college football, Keith. Served in the Navy for 4 years. So Tyler Huff, thank you for your service.
No question. Thanks to all those that have put the uniform on and represented the United States of America.
That includes our very own producer, Victoria Hine. Thank you for your service,
Thank
Victoria. You. As we start the second quarter, Bobcats with the ball to drive, giving some new life after a running into the punter penalty against Georgia Southern. 3rd and 11, big third down here over the middle, trying to make a play in space is Shaw and got cut down. Really good tackle in the open field made by Demel Hickman, and Shaw's going to be short by about 2 yards.
Hickman is down, though. He still hasn't been able to get up. That's going to call timeout. I think this is go for it territory. Just got that head, just shot in there to bring him down. When you get that knee at the side of the helmet.
So right now looking at Hickman, first-year transfer out of East Carolina. As they look at him, we'll step aside early in the second. Bobcats have a decision to make when we come back, facing 4th down and 2. Look, Keith, the East Division is tough. You got programs like Georgia Southern, like JMU, Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State, and over the years, the Bobcats have struggled against the East, only 3-11.
Yeah, that's the difference. Why you're not going to bowl games. It's a league of 2 conferences, and you got to compete on both sides of it. Georgia Southern, #1 in that side right now because of what James Madison's situation is, being the 2nd year in conference play.
All right, so G.J. Kenny's decision is let's go for it. 4th down and 2. Bobcats have been very aggressive on 4th downs this year. One of the more aggressive teams in the Sun Belt. Don't get it here. The Eagles have really good starting field position. And here we go. 4th and 2. Finley lofts that complete and a 1st down. Good strike. Had to throw that ball a long way to connect with Joey Hobert.
Well, I tell you what, this is a really difficult throw, and that tells you what Finley brings to the table and his arm strength. You got to have good footwork to get it delivered. He did to the outside. That was a 30-yard throw for 3 downs, for 3 yards.
You take the fumble exchange out of it. Finley's having a good day. 8 of 9 passing, on the verge of 100 yards already. Here's Hobert in motion. Finley stands, delivers. Hobert wide open. Nobody to the same zip code as Hobert. And he's going to take that for a 1st down across the 30-yard line.
Now trying to get something down the field. Nice job by Finley and Davenport as well to come up with a big block right here to help him on right here. That little chip block gave him enough time to step in and deliver the throw from his tailback position.
Again, Hobert's been the favorite target for Finley throughout the year. 5th catch already. For Hobert, scored the Bobcats' lone touchdown on their opening drive. 10th play of this drive coming up. Finley stands, fires. Hawkins near the sidelines, trying to reel that one in one-handed. Would have been overthrown. Going to bring up 2nd down.
I'm being picky here, but he was open earlier. You got to get that ball out of your hand. This ball was out of the field to play because Finley didn't get it released quick enough where he could get it in the field to play. He was open on that double move to the outside, and now it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Early in the second. Little run action here for Davenport, picking his way through and then got upended a bit by Bartholomew. Davis finishes off the play. All that action there for Davenport for about 4 yards. Going to bring up 3rd and 6.
Now this is a direct snap. It goes straight to him. And he puts it in motion. It's a counter. They're going to fake the jet sweep after the direct snap to Davenport. Able to get something. Huge 3rd down here.
Feels like offensive coordinator Mac Leftwich has gone a little bit deeper in the playbook so far today. Bobcats in 3rd down, 2 of 5. Finley rolls, throws. Davenport's got the 1st down, and he's got more inside the 10. And here the Bobcats are inside the red zone again, Keith, but can they finish?
Well, they just put so much pressure on you with the little play action in the backfield and then slide to the outside. Davenport's wide open, able to get it down inside the red zone, actually inside the 10.
Bobcats trying to take the lead back. 1st and goal for the 7. Finley on the drive, 5 of 6 passing, 47 yards. And Davenport's the backfield with him. No Ishmael Mahdi here. Still no Bray Walker on the offensive line. Little flip to Connor Fox, and that's not going much of anywhere. Good play in space, TJ Smith. That's going to bring up 2nd down and goal.
Well, it's an interesting RPO. you have the play fake early here, and then Finley can run it if he wants to, but he sees it, he's got nowhere to go, flips it to the outside. It's actually for a negative yard on that pass. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, move it back to about the 8-yard line. 14th play of the drive coming up. Finley throws a dart towards Hobart, has the catch inside the 5. And forced out of bounds by Stampley. Going to set up 3rd down and goal. Talk about these long drives for the Bobcats. Longest of the year, 17 plays against ULM.
Well, it's a really nice catch. The ball was behind him, and he reaches back and makes the catch. Some changes now. That 4-point play right here.
And there's Hobart. 6 catches already on 6 targets. You figure he's the big red zone threat here. Wilson also lined up at the bottom of the screen. Throw comes to Connor Fox and a walk-in touchdown. His first at Texas State.
Well, this is a really well-designed play. Everybody to the short side of the field, Brent, and you go RPO. Fake it, pull everybody up. Tight end is in the H-back position, and he just slides to the outside after the play fake, brings the linebacker down, pitch and catch touchdown.
Well, you also saw all the attention to Hobart Drew. It looked like he was kind of a decoy there on the play. And Fox wide open. And for the Bobcats, a tip of the cap to the Eagles special teams. That penalty running into the punter kept the drive alive. The Bobcats capitalize, and they take the lead back. 14-10, still early in the second. We got a good one here at Bobcat Stadium on ESPN+. Back out at Bobcat Stadium, Texas State. Impressive drive, aided by a key special teams penalty, but 15 plays, almost 8 minutes off the clock, 75 yards, and the Bobcats have the lead once again. Back and forth we go. It's 14-10.
A couple of nice 3rd down conversions on the drive, including the touchdown. Did a nice job. Again, as you mentioned, extended because of the running into the kicker penalty. Defense is well rested on the other side. Probably at this point of the game with 10:45 second quarter, Eagles haven't really have all of their game plan of their scripted plays run so far. So it's interesting, but that's what happens when you have your opponent has an 8-minute drive.
That's a great point, Keith. The Bobcats have tripled the Eagles in plays run, 30-10. Advantage Texas State. Davis Brin has thrown 4 passes for 14 yards. And the kickoff from James Buchanan. The big return earlier lets it go. And the Eagles come out on offense trailing by 4. And again, the big target, Keith, Caleb Hood for Davis Brin. This guy can make plays, arguably the best receiver numbers in team history.
Well, he's got 66 receptions on the season already for 681 yards, 4 touchdowns. And he's a guy you just see his career numbers, 6 100-yard games, 217 career receptions.
So far, Caleb Hood, only 1 catch for a single yard, but as Keith and I were talking about, just not many plays run yet for Georgia Southern. The script could very well still be in play. Here's White, big part of that script. Boy, what a day he's had. White, of course, that 39-yard gallop for a touchdown early in the game. This carry good for 13. He's having himself a ball game.
Yeah, he's having a good ball game. And we talked about it in the open, one of our keys. Got to establish the running game. Running game's been outstanding for the Eagles.
Played well here 2 years ago. Then a 38-30 Eagle win in that game. White's found the end zone twice. Has found it once today. Another good run for White. Spilled over by Mills at the 35 on a gain of 7.
Nice job of those guys up front. 2 tackles, both named Miller. It's unusual. Right tackle's Miller, left tackle's Miller.
That is Brian on the left, Rashid on the right. Really good veteran offensive line for Georgia Southern. Here's Brin, spins out to Caleb Hood, who spins away to his right for a good gain and a first down to the Bobcat 46.
Nice route that time. Really sold it like he was going to go down, and it came back in a square end, was right there. Easy pitch and catch for the first down.
Not somebody you can contain much. Hood averaging over 8 catches a game, 4th in the nation, 2nd of this game. And just like that, the Eagles on the move. 4th play of the drive coming up. Figure the scoreboard's getting lit up today, and there's David Badinga, his first carry. And again, this Eagles running back group is down. O.J. Arnold, that's a huge loss for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, he's their power back, and he gets a lot of snaps throughout the year.
So you might see more of Badinga, but only 15 carries all season coming into the day. That one, no gain. 2nd down and 10. Here's Brin, and Brin taken down for a sack. This Bobcat defense at times can feast on opposing quarterbacks. That time is Chance Main.
Now, great coverage. That's a covered sack. He was there, set, looks left, looks right. Nothing there. By that time, defense gets to him. 3rd and long.
If you remember the Bobcat sacks, Gunnar Watson 3 times last week. 2nd of the conference in sacks. That's their 2nd today. But we have seen the Eagles convert on 3rd and long. Did so early in the game on 3rd and 15 for a touchdown. Brin pressure throws, and it's caught, but short of the sticks is Hood at the 40, and Brin got decked as he threw the football.
Oh, that's a really nice pass right there. All the way across the field. Knew he was going to get hit. Has to stand in that pocket, and I think they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Good pitch and delivery to make this an opportunity to go for it at the 40.
Yeah, that play call makes 4th down here manageable now. 4th and 5, and the Eagles have been excellent at 4th down this year. 8 of 9. 2nd highest conversion rate of the country. Needing 5 yards here. Rush coming, Brin. Off his back foot throws, that one to the sidelines, incomplete, and the Bobcats will take over on downs.
No, they just heated him up, you're right. Brought more people than they had to defend.
Pass, over on down. Timeout.
And we got a timeout on the field following a big 4th down stop for the Bobcats. Bobcats the ball, leading 14-10, halfway through the 2nd. Bobcats defensively just got a big 4th down stop, and Coral's got more of that unit for head coach G.J. Kinney.
Yeah, Brant, we've talked about Texas State's offense. They've proven to be one of the most explosive offenses in the country, and their defense has shown some inconsistencies this season. However, when you talk to head coach G.J. Kinney, the biggest concern is getting off the field on 3rd down, as Texas State's defense has allowed teams to convert nearly 50% of the time. Kinney has challenged his defense to come up with big stops tonight, just like the one they just had, and allow this offense to get in a groove, emphasizing the importance of that complementary football and keeping T.J. Finley in rhythm.
All right, thank you, Coral. Offense taking over after the turnover on downs, and that is a high pass reeled in by Ashton Hawkins, flying down the far sideline. Fumbles the football, but the officials say that Hawkins was out of bounds first. Bobcats dodged a bullet there. This play stands for Ashton Hawkins, and another big play for this pass offense for Texas State.
Just nice job going up the field, and he comes down on his head. His head is on the ground before the football comes out. So he is down by contact, so to speak, is at the next level. But that's what he would. Huge play right there, though.
So again, the ruling that Hawkins down before the ball came out, not being out of bounds. The replay officials are giving it a look to see if this should be reviewed. Reason for the delay here. Our green vest on the sidelines says, no, we're good. Call stands. So no review. Goes down as a 37-yard pickup on the first catch of the game for Hawkins. Bobcats getting it back to Hawkins on the reverse, and Hawkins wrapped up, going to lose about 3 yards there on the play. Well, the Eagles have been really disciplined on some of these trick plays the Bobcats have run.
Oh, there's no question. They do not allow you to get the corner. You're trying to get the corner right here. They keep feathering it, pushing it to the outside. You know what? That sideline doesn't miss many tackles.
Again, Bartholomew on the play for Georgia Southern. Inside of 6 minutes to go. Bobcats looking to add a 4-point lead. TJ Finley so far, numbers really impressive. 14 of 16, 171 yards, couple of scores. Bobcats to the 25, Motti to his left. Motti inside the 15-yard line. That'll move the chains down to the 10. Ishmael Motti having a big day himself.
Yeah, and Cole Wilson with a good block. Wide receivers have got to block. Watch Motti bounces this to the outside. You can see Wilson right here doing a good job holding his guy off. Gets him an extra 3 or 4 yards down inside right at the 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal.
Bobcats have racked up over 230 yards of offense. The Eagles under 100 so far. They have dominated time of possession, nearly doubling that of Georgia Southern. Finley make that Malik Hornsby, or no, that was Finley. That type of play we see run, typically one you see for Hornsby, who we have yet to see in this game. It's going to bring up 2nd down.
He does go to a little play action. And it's a read, and you're reading it. His read was to pull it. Gets forward, 3 yards on the play. Some changes. A couple of tight ends in the game for the Bobcats here. That allows the defense time to substitute.
Bobcats go big, the Eagles go big. They bring in their biggest defensive lineman, Latrell Bullard. Their look at Davon Gilmore, one of the linebackers for the Eagles. 2nd down and goal. Georgia Southern showing a blitz. Here it comes. Finley fires. Caught. Diving for the end zone. Wilson. Touchdown.
That's how you pay off a wide receiver for doing his job blocking. This is an outstanding route in man coverage right at the bottom of your screen. Coming right at you, you'll see this football. This is just a great route. Sells it to the inside, bounces it back out, dives for the pylon.
5th touchdown catch of the year for Cole Wilson. One of the 9 Incarnate Word transfers into the program over the offseason. And the Bobcats, after coughing up the ball, have since responded with back-to-back touchdown drives. This one good for 60 yards in 6 plays, and a 3-touchdown day for TJ Finley. Point after makes it 21-10. Bobcats looking pretty smooth in offense. The Eagles need to respond. Down by 11 late in the first half. Boy, Keith, G.J. Kinney was looking for a big game out of his quarterback today. He's gotten it. TJ Finley as locked in as we've seen in a few weeks.
He's done a nice job of moving his feet, finding the openings, and boy, delivering the football on time. That was an outstanding route, hitting perfectly as he's fading to the outside, got him into the end zone. Other than one botched snap, It's been almost a perfect first half of football. Offensively for the Bobcats.
Yeah, 4 drives for the Bobcats. Haven't really been stopped in any of them. 3 of those have ended in touchdowns, the exception of the aforementioned turnover on goal to go. Ensuing kickoff into the end zone. 21-10. Bobcats on top. A lot coming up at the half here on ESPN+. We're going to talk a lot about the Sun Belt. A lot happening in the conference as we flip to the month of November. A look at the halftime scoreboard and stats and highlights in the first half here as well. We've got a big game here today. Eagles looking to remain in the driver's seat in the East. For the Bobcats, it has been 9 long years since they were last bowl eligible. They can become that if they win today.
Yep. Huge opportunity. 3:46. Ready to go here.
Here's Bren. Stands, delivers, high picks. Intercepted by Brian Holloway. The pressure is coming. Brent felt it, throws into coverage, and the Bobcats take over.
Just giving ground. As he gets pushed outside, Holloway does a great job. That's a great catch to go with it. But you feel the pressure. He's pushing him to the left, tries to drop it in over the top. Holloway underneath as a linebacker does a nice job to come up with the pick. I'm going to say he's down at the 36-yard line. First time that you see the Bobcats take over in Eagle territory here with a great chance to get some separation in this game.
First time the Bobcats have forced a turnover in close to a month. None forced over the past 2 games. Huge pick there for Brian Holloway. The 13th interception of the year thrown by Davis Brin. Now there's Captain America getting his sideline congratulations from his teammates. Bobcats on a 14-point scoring run with the ball again. In Eagle territory, blitz coming from Georgia Southern. Finley fires for Hobart over the middle. That play's been there all day. And Hobart takes it inside the 20 and down to the 17, gains 19 yards.
Boy, the inside seam route has been there, as you mentioned, all day long. Just a nice route to the inside. Inside leverage as a receiver. Nobody there. Pitch and catch inside the red zone.
Feels like these Bobcat receivers are getting a ton of cushion right now. And again, the secondary is playing off for the Eagles. Play fake, Finley, pressure. Finley takes a sack. That is a large fall, sorry, Keith, on the sack there for the Eagles.
Yeah, I shouldn't have jumped, but it was the first time we've seen that RPO not work. The little play action, lineman didn't buy in. Time he raised up out of that to get rid of the football right there in his face. And he didn't have any place to go with it. He makes the play fake and he looks up, and no time to find a receiver at that point because the pressure was right there. Fall was in his face, got him on the ground.
Again, remember, Texas State's offensive line without Bray Walker.
I think they're going to take this down and take a timeout here.
Yeah, play clock winding down, and G.J. Kinney will do just that. So a timeout taken by G.J. Kinney with 2:20 to go. 21-10, the Bobcats on top and try to capitalize off the pick thrown by Davis Brin. So the Bobcats looking to beat the Eagles for the first time in 18 years here today. These two met for the first time in 2005, then a 1AA playoff game. Georgia Southern was a national championship regular, 6 national titles. Bobcats are making their first ever 1AA appearance. The Eagles led by 19 points with just over 16 minutes to go. The Bobcats overcame that deficit, scoring 34 unanswered on the way to reaching the 1AA national semifinals to date. That is the largest lead ever blown by Georgia Southern. That is the only win the Bobcats have ever had in the series since sending the Eagles 5-0 against Texas State. Out of the timeout, 2nd and 13. Finley stands, delivers. Wilson trying to drop it into the buckets, but it's incomplete. In the back left corner of the end zone, Wilson just out of bounds.
Well, they come with a max blitz. And Finley stays in the pocket. Offensive line gives him some opportunity, lays it up. Wilson with an outstanding catch. Just cannot get a foot down in the back pylon corner.
I wonder if they may look at this and look like Wilson trying to get that right foot down, but I don't know if he had possession when he did, and this is not being reviewed. 3rd and 13. One of the few misfires for Finley today, and the Bobcats are going to have to take another timeout.
This is the second timeout of the first half. 30 seconds.
Well, the 40-second clock was going down, and you see that, and everybody starts still looking around for the play, so had to call another timeout. So back-to-back timeouts, but you take this timeout, they're going to let them, the replay booth gets an opportunity to see this one more time. When I first looked at it, I felt like he was out of play by the naked eye, but he did hold on to get a chance to look at it again right here.
So Wilson, see that right toe kind of catches some of the pellets?
Trying to keep in bounds.
But I just don't know if he had possession when that foot came down. Our replay official, Terry Walters, again not electing to take a second look. So the call stands. And with that, 3rd down and 12.
Middle of the field's been open a lot now. Much different looking defensive formation. The linebackers have backed off.
A lot of soft coverage here from Georgia Southern. Finley steps up on the quarterback draw. Finley with that big frame leaning forward inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, well shy of the first down. And now the Eagles spin a timeout. Want some more. The Eagles want some more clock after this possession for the Bobcats to do something with the ball with about 2 minutes to go.
Well, it's going to be, you got to take the points here. If this was, 4th down and 2 or 3, you might think about it, but it's a full 5 yards. And take advantage of the miscue, the turnover, and see if you can put some points on the board. One of the interesting things, we talked about it before the game, you and I did, for the Bobcats, they've been outscored in the second half, 132 to 106. So it's important to get as many points in the first half, the way the second halves have gone this season for the Bobcats.
It's funny you mention that because the Eagles have been a very good second quarter team this year. It's been a high-scoring quarter of the season, but they have not scored in the second quarter today. And so the decision from G.J. Kinney, honoring Keith's wishes here, take the points. And here's Shipley, who has hit 8 field goals over his last 3 games. And this 30-yard attempt is good. And puts the Bobcats on top, 24-10. Just saw a kick made by Mason Shipley. And it's funny, on the topic of kickers, Georgia Southern has a couple of their own playing at the next level currently. 2 great ones, by the way. Tyler Bass and Younghoe Koo. Bass with the Buffalo Bills, closing in at 100 career field goals already with the Bills, one of the premier teams in the league. And Koo is having a great career himself with Atlanta currently. Began his NFL journey in 2017. Was named to the Pro Bowl in 2020 with Atlanta. Both players have since signed some sizable kicker contracts and representing the Eagles well at the next level.
Hey, you're absolutely right. That Metrodome, Koo has been outstanding in the Metrodome. I mean, in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta. I'm not sure that he's missed a kick there.
I don't believe so. You mentioned the Metrodome. That's where the Vikings used to play.
Yes. I played a little baseball.
You played
there.
baseball there. What am I saying? You played the Twins there a few times. So after the field goal drive, Bobcats kick off. Buchanan watches it go into the end zone. That'll bring out the Eagles offense. Again, it can be a very high-scoring offense, fast-paced, so 2 minutes with a couple of timeouts should be plenty of time. This is a big possession here, Keith, for Georgia Southern. Brent just threw a pick. Now you want to counter that with some points here.
Yeah, and you want to bounce back. And the other part of this, for me, is it's all about, you get into your 2-minute offense about that first down play. Can you get something positive, get to the line of scrimmage, and get rolling? That first down usually ignites a 2-minute offense.
Brent so far, really quiet day. 4 of 8, 31 yards. Just has not been on the field much. Here, look at a throw. Pressure is coming, and Brent gets rid of it. Throws a dart to Hood at the 30-yard line. That's going to pick up about 4, maybe 5. The clock will keep ticking.
Nice catch by Hood, too, coming back to his quarterback.
The Eagles have had the ball for just over 8 minutes so far. Rush coming again. Off his back foot, that's short hops. Incomplete. Looking for Quealy. Just like that, 2 quick plays, and now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, they had a little spin move in the defensive front, up front, and got some pressure. Pinned their ears back here on 3rd down.
Coming into the day, Brent, 2nd of the country in completions per game behind only Shadur Sanders of Colorado. Today, he has 5.
That's number 7, Hood. It's coming in motion.
Final 100 seconds of the half. The Eagles trying to extend the drive. Brent, pressure coming, tipped and incomplete. Burgess, the receiver, looking for a flag against Josh Eaton. That is a 3 and out for Georgia Southern.
Now, I told you before the game, I thought the key to this game would be the cornerback play of the Bobcats, and that's a huge one right there to force the 3 and out by Eaton.
It's a good point there, Keith, because you look at the receivers, Burgess, Hood, Cobb, Quealy. It is a tremendous quadrant of receivers for the Eagles. This secondary will be challenged. Hood, 4 catches, Quealy, 1, Burgess, Cobb, none. And here's the punt from Alex Smith, true freshman punter. That was close to being tipped. Line drive punt goes out of bounds at around the 36-yard line. So a minute 28 left with a timeout remaining now. It's the Bobcats who have time to play out on here. Look at TJ Finley. And again, Keith looking for that bounce back game. Just hasn't looked himself the last 2 weeks. He looks like the Baylor Finley that we saw in the opener.
Yeah, he's been very comfortable. He's moved his feet well. He's had great positioning of the football, had it up, had it ready to go. Hey, with a minute 28, you're taking over your own 40-yard line, even though you're down to 1 timeout. You got a great opportunity to come away with some points here.
You see season splits, and Finley closer to the wins guy than losses today. Finley throws that quick to Hobart, looking to get out of bounds. Eagles keep him in play across the 45 with a minute 20 to go.
I think if he had to do that over, he would step and move to the out of bounds and stop the clock. Clock is running.
Again, 1 timeout left for Texas State coming up on the final 60. Same play to Hobart. This time gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with a minute 4 to go, but he didn't get the first down.
I think you think first down first and then points. You could see a running play here. Everybody split out. Howdy in the backfield.
3rd down and 2. Bobcats offense has looked really sharp on 3rd down today. 4 for 8. Here's a blitz, here's a pass, and here's Hobart, a catch and a first down. Stops the clock.
Finley has been outstanding. Perfect. Gets the snap, sets his feet, delivers the football. He threw the ball before Hobart came out of his break right there. Gets the first down and stops the clock.
Already the 10th catch for Hobart. With Joe Dirtz having himself a day. Just shy of 100 yards. He has hit that watermark 4 times this year. Here's Finley. Steps, fires. What a throw. What a move in the open field. Hawkins trying to find the sidelines and does. Good all-around play between Finley and Hawkins.
Hawkins bounces to the inside. Going to get this call here. Is there a late call? It looked like it was tripping to me. I thought he reached out and tripped Hawkins and didn't really tackle him. There's conversation right at the 31-yard line here.
Right in front of G.J. Kenny. It's our head official, Trentus Livingston.
I didn't see a flag.
Meeting with his crew here. Body language from the Eagles doesn't look promising because the flag was just now thrown.
But watch right here at the end. It looked like to me he just reached out and tripped him with his foot.
On the defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty from the end of the line. Automatic first down.
Good eyes there, Keith. You caught it. Mark Stampley II stuck his foot out. Watch the back end of the play here.
I mean, you don't hear it called very often, but there's no question that he put his foot out intentionally to trip him. Boy, that's a huge break because now 51 seconds, 1 timeout in your pocket. This is touchdown zone now. You're in the red zone.
You got plenty of time if you're TJ Finley here. Bobcats in the red zone for the 5th time already. Here's Finley, looking, stands, runs. Finley on the run, inside the 10. Finley galloping for the goal line, and he is in for the touchdown.
Doesn't put it down very often, Brant. But when he does, with that big frame, he's tough to bring down. Just turns it upfield, and once he got that momentum right here, when he decides to put it down and tucks it away right here, watch him turn on the jets, and then powers his way into the end zone.
You said it. He's not the most flight of foot, but man, at 6'7", pushing 260, he's so hard to bring down. That big frame of his finds the end zone, and he's accounted for all 4 touchdowns in the first half, 31-10. Bobcats on top. With that turnover that Finley had on the bat snap exchange seems like ages ago now.
Timeout. Official.
Player was down for Georgia Southern. He's up now, and you're right. To answer your question, it does seem an attorney to go. This offense for the Bobcats, as good as we've seen it all season long. I mean, it really has only stopped itself. You know, they've had one field goal attempt where they did get stopped, and they had a punt situation, but running into the punter allowed that drive to continue. That went in, it turned into points.
And now Clay Helton visiting with the crew here. This team now trailing by 21 points. Bobcats looking to beat a team with a winning record in the month of November for the first time since 2014. But that year keeps coming up, doesn't it? That last win was against Arkansas State on a Thursday night 9 years ago.
This is an extended conversation. Helton with the referee here.
Clay Helton, second year at Georgia Southern. Previously at USC, 46 wins as head coach of the Trojans. This is the second year at Georgia Southern. In year 2 at USC, the Trojans won 10 games and won the Rose Bowl. So typically these teams in year 2 play really well. They have been all year to this point, 6-2, but now trailing by 3 scores with 42 seconds to go in the second. And the kick fielded by Buchanan. He will take it out. Buchanan had a good return earlier. And going to take this across the 20-yard line. 35 seconds left. The Eagles do have 2 timeouts. But there will be adjustments to be made for Georgia Southern, Keith, both offense and defense, whenever we hit halftime.
Yeah, I think the adjustments offensively, they've got to win first down. That was something I felt like that Texas State needed to do to have a good ball game today. Well, they've been behind the chains all night, haven't got their offense in rhythm at any point in this first half, really.
What tough half for Davis Brin. Going to have a lot of work to do in the second half. The Eagles scored 44 last week against Georgia State, second highest point total of the year. They've been held to 10 so far, and you're seeing an energy level from this Bobcat defense that we really didn't see much of last week.
You know, they've set the tone just as much as the offense has been spectacular with 31 points in the first half.
They forced a turnover, got a turnover on downs.
I don't think they're going to snap another play.
Yeah, the Eagles looks like they're going to get ready for the third quarter here. If you're the Bobcats looking for a bounce-back game, you're halfway through this one, you're there. Texas State, an impressive first half hour of football. Once down 10-7, the Bobcats in the half with 24 unanswered points. They take a 31-10 lead into the break off the arms and legs of T.J. Finley. Halftime in San Marcos, Bobcats up 3 touchdowns. Back out at Bobcat Stadium, about ready for the start of the third quarter, 31-10. Bobcats on top along with Keith Moreland. I'm Bray Freeman. Keith, again, you have to love November football. The games mean a lot more. Bobcats being tasked with playing in one of the biggest games in November in a long time, and they've answered the call.
Well, they've been outstanding offensively. They've done everything they wanted to do. They've really established things on offense. It sort of set the tone with their first possession of the game. They go down, and then the answer, here comes Georgia Southern right back with a great return. And then this is really the only mistake of the first half. And just like that, the Eagles come back down the field, and they take a 10-7 lead.
Yeah, Jalen White with a huge 39-yard touchdown run But from that point on, it was all Texas State. The Bobcats offensively, you're always asking for balance, Keith. They were able to both run and pass, and maybe one of the biggest plays was that special teams penalty against Georgia Southern.
Yeah, at that time in the ballgame, it stopped it. It allowed Texas State to take it. It ended up being an 11 or 12 play drive, took them all the way down the field, and it's just been a great combination of Monty, Finley. He's had great receiver work on the outside. This is a great pitch and catch right here for the touchdown, and they have completely dominated. The only turnover for the Eagles in the first half, Holloway with the pick, turns into points.
G.J. Kinney also told us he wanted Finley to spread the wealth, found 3 different receivers for touchdowns, and then found the end zone himself as the Bobcats rattled off 24 and answer to end the first half. A look at the first half numbers, all Texas State. Look at total yards, 3-1 in favor of the Bobcats, who are averaging close to 7 yards per play.
You looked at it. We talked about the Eagles wanting to be able to run the ball. Well, 72 yards is nice, but on the other side of that, they averaged 306 yards a game through the air. Only 36 in the first half.
So, 31-10, Bobcats on top here at the break. Now, the Eagles will get the football to start the third quarter, and as you noted, Keith, Texas State has had some second half issues as of late. If you recall, they were the ones who led last week, albeit a smaller lead than against Troy. It was 10-7. The Trojans came back. The Bobcats, as far as they're concerned, in a much better second half today.
Yeah, Clay Helton will. He took his team in, and he's going to sit down and say, look, nothing went right for the first half. You almost got to shelve it, not look at it, not think about it. Hey, we get the ball to start the second half. Let's go down and make this a 14-point game by taking in the open half and going down the field. I look for them to open it up, be more involved in the passing game. Yeah, they've tried to do a little play action. I think it'll be more 4 wide receivers and no play action here in the second half.
G.J. Kinney told us earlier in the week that his team is right there. They're not sneaking up on anybody anymore, not sneaking up on the Eagles here. They lead by 21 as we start the second half. And here is Buchanan on the return. Out of his own end zone, Buchanan is wrapped up at around the 25-yard line. So Coral had a chance to visit with both head coaches during halftime. Coral, what they have to say?
Grant, you talked about that second half Texas State had last week. Not so great. And that's what head coach G.J. Kinney said. He said, we have to finish this, put this away, and play a whole 4 quarters of good football. That's what he's wanting to see from his team throughout the rest of this game. On the other side of things, Georgia Southern head coach Clay Helton told me their defense has to get stops on third down. They've been very efficient all season, but today they haven't been able to get it done, and they've just been on the field too long. Their offense has not been able to find a rhythm. They have to find some complementary football. Grant?
All right, first play of the half. Jalen White got hit by Chance Main to the backfield, so it's tackle for loss. Starts the second half for Texas State.
Well, you've got a guy that's got 66 receptions already. You've got a couple other receivers in the mid-40s. You're going to have to find something, some rhythm. Get some offense going where you can get the ball to your outside receivers.
Again, Davis Brin at the helm at quarterback for the Eagles. First-year transfer out of Tulsa. 22 starts for the Golden Hurricane. Former MVP of the Myrtle Beach Bowl delivers a dart. And across the 30-yard line, close to first down yardage, is Marcus Sanders Jr.
Well, that was a good pitch and catch. Makes it a very manageable third down. And a jumbo package comes into the game. 2 tight ends come in.
Sanders had a big catch last week against rival Georgia State. 30-yard touchdown late in the first half. That is first catch of this game. Good for 10, 3rd and 1. The Eagles in the first half, 2 of 5 on third down. Saw some movement right side of the line. This is going to come back 5 yards.
Just have been out of kilter offensively. Just haven't been able to get into any kind of rhythm. They had
5-yard penalty. Third down.
It changes. You'll have to go away from the jumbo package. You can see the right tackle just moves just a little early that time. And getting back to that point, they just haven't been able to get anything going where they can get into a rhythm. Seems like they're going a step forward, 2 back.
Penalty on Bryson Broadway, the Eagles' 4th penalty of the game. From 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6, Bren feeling the heat, lets it rip over the middle, has got a first down. One of his better throws today, a strike to Dalen Cobb for a first down.
Well, he did a really nice job avoiding the sack. I mean, he was coming. He had to take some time. He stepped up into the pocket and delivered that ball right on time. You can see he can feel the pressure, steps up right there, delivers it down the field. Maybe the biggest play of the game so far.
Timeout.
After the first down catch, a Bobcat down on the field will step aside early in the 3rd. Bobcats lead, but the Eagles on the move on their first second half possession. Eagles on the move offensively, and they got a lot of beef up front. A couple of guys to highlight, players that Clay Helton's called his salty dogs. Brian Miller and Khalil Crowder. Between the two of them, 100 starts, or close to 100 starts.
95.
At Georgia Southern, combined 13 years of experience. Miller, the oldest player on this team, born in 1999. Trying to help this offense get a jolt the second half, trailing 31-10. Here's Bren loading up and throwing deep, and that's incomplete. Closest player was Joshua Thompson for the Eagles on that post route.
Yeah,
Thompson
just ran more of a fly, didn't break it back to the inside. Brent thought he was going to come to the inside on a post, and miscommunication down the field on first down.
Mentioned Brian Miller, the left tackle, 4 years ago, 2019, near the end of fall camp. Suffers a non-contact hip injury. Took him over a year to come back from that, and has carved out a remarkable career since then at Georgia Southern. 2nd and 10. This is a receiver sweep. Here's Cobb, who had a huge play last week against the Panthers, a 76-yard touchdown catch. That play good for about 8, maybe 9, 3rd and short.
Oh, he did a nice job. He planted that left foot, and he got north and south right here. And boy, when he did, he made it positive. It's going to be 3rd and 2. 4-down territory here, down 21, 3rd quarter.
No, I think no doubt about that. Burgess comes to the sideline here for the Eagles. And Keith talked about it, that big back who's great at these short yardage situations. O.J. Arnold not available tonight for Clay Helton. Here's White, runs into a blocker. White, second effort, but all he gets is a line of scrimmage. Here comes 4th down.
Now, nice push up front. 2 defensive tackles do their job. Disrupted in the backfield. You'll see Bell coming in and sort of clean it up right there in the middle. Nice job. That's just good overall team defense. Changes on the defensive front for the Bobcats here on 4th down. Huge momentum play right here in this ball game.
2nd 4th down attempt today for the Eagles. Hood, the man in motion. Bren looking to throw. Throws that one incomplete over the middle, looking for Burgess. This Bobcat secondary has been challenged today, and they have come through in a big way. Caleb Ford DeMint breaks up that play.
The corners just making good plays, and they needed to. Fighting through this. 2nd 4th down opportunity for the Eagles. They come up empty. Huge defensive stop, momentum change here. First drive of the 3rd quarter.
Well, this defense has been up to the task today, facing an Eagle offense which is putting up north of 32 points a game. One of the most improved passing offenses in the country this year. They've held a passing game to 78 yards on 16 attempts from Davis Bren.
That's the 3rd down play helped make the 4th down play. Just because 3rd down, if they get any yardage, they'll run it again on 4th down, but they lost yardage.
So not the start the Eagles needed in this 3rd quarter. Bobcats take over on offense. 2nd turnover on downs. Here's Motti lassoed by Marquez Watson's trend, who we haven't really called his name a lot today. Hasn't really been in there on a ton of plays. This play for Motti, good for 5.
Yeah, he's just big, strong, gets that right paw on his shoulder and just rips him to the ground. But you're right, we haven't called his name.
On pace for his 2nd straight season with over 100 tackles. Motti closing in at 1,000 yards this season. He's up to 84 in the day.
He came in with 856 or something, right?
Here's Finley, lets it fly for Hobart, and what an adjustment from Joey Hobart, going high and bringing it down to the 29-yard line.
What a catch. His back shoulder throw, as good as you can throw the football, give his receiver a chance. Still a remarkable catch to go up and bring it down and hold on to it.
You know the story, Keith, on the Joe Dirt nickname, right? Because Hobart runs dirty routes. That route was filthy from Hobart there. Hobart over 100 yards for the 5th time this year, 4th time in conference play. He's got a $116. That last play good for 26. Finley rips one over the middle. Guess who? Or no, it's not Hobart. That is Bo Corrales. It's his 2nd catch all year.
He just runs a great route. Sells it down, deep crosser. Clears the linebacker with the back. Now going quickly right to the line of scrimmage.
That NASCAR pace you talk about all the time. Finley play fake, throwing for Corrales in the short corner. And that's broken up by Bartholomew. Going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Just a little bit behind him. Corrales might have been a little tardy. You know, that connection not as good because he hasn't caught a lot of balls. And that's a real timing play, that back shoulder throw at the goal line.
Yeah, Corrales missed the first 7 games of the season due to injury. Made his debut last week. Hasn't really played a lot of college football over the past 2 years because of injury. And now a throwaway here from Finley. Kind of a broken play there.
Yeah, the timing was off. There's something happened at the snap because caught a blitz.
There's no foul. Intentional grounding. Number 3.
So now all of a sudden you go from a 1st down at the 12 to 3rd down at the 12.
3rd and 10. Bobcats have had a good day in 3rd down so far. 5 for 9.
Look for the Eagles to heat them up here. I would think some type of blitz package. 5 on the line of scrimmage, 6 in the box.
They've sacked Finley 3 times already. And here it comes. Finley steps up on the run. Finley, 2nd time today.
You catch the blitz, and it splits right in the middle. No spy in that situation. Finley reads it early. Says, oh, just opens up right in front of him. Once he does that, just takes his time. He could coast into the end zone. How about this? Opening drive in the 2nd half. A 28-point lead with the conversion to come. 27.
And then Finley, the step back jumper, and the celebration there. Hey, basketball season starts on Monday in college hoops, and the extra point is good. Win us all, Texas State. The Bobcats have staked a 28-point lead. TJ Finley having himself a ball game in his house in San Marcos. Again, Joey Hobart having himself a pretty good game today. 11 targets, 11 catches, over 100 yards, a touchdown to go along with it. Keith, he has put his stamp on this game.
No question about it. He's done a nice job with the out routes and the big conversions on 3rd down. And these are the in routes and also where you know you're going to get blown up. But this was the best catch of all of them there, that back shoulder.
And how about the chemistry those two have? Finley and Hobart, we'll hear more about Hobart from Coral in a moment. Bobcats kicking off after a 6-play, 61-yard drive. They have faced no resistance today. The Bobcats have either scored a touchdown or a field goal on all but one of their possessions. The exception was a fumble inside the 10.
374 yards of total offense on 51 plays so far in the ballgame.
Ensuing kick. Fielded by Bedinga. Bedinga kind of ran into Buchanan there, and Bedinga corralled around the 20. All right, Coral, tell us more about Joey Hobart, Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Brant, you mentioned his stamp on the game today, but honestly, he's had a stamp on this season for this Texas State offense. And, you know, that started in their first game against Baylor. He and TJ Finley have had such a great chemistry, and that started so fast. When we asked him how they got to develop that chemistry so early, he said, you know, it's because they have a similar understanding and approach to the game. This Texas State coaching staff noted that Hobart has a remarkably high football IQ, and he also brings a sense of joy to the team, and he really never has a bad day. He's a great bonus to the Texas State offense. Brant?
All right, thank you, Cool. Of course, a couple of games ago, Holbert, some clutch plays in the come-from-behind win over ULM, including the game-winning touchdown with 41 seconds to go.
Yeah. It's just, he's been outstanding. Now, it changes it. You look up, you're down 4 scores. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. You're going to have to start putting in the air regular if you're the Eagles.
Georgia Southern really good at home this year, unbeaten in Statesboro, 1-2 on the road, albeit the road competition's been stiff. In Madison against Wisconsin in non-conference play, at JMU, and playing here in San Marcos. But the thing is, the Eagles have a road-heavy schedule to end the season. 3 of their final 4 games, include today, are on the road.
Yeah, got to find a way to win away from home, no question. This is a huge third down. Just cannot give it back to the Bobcats on a 3-and-out right here. This is a must conversion.
So far, the Bobcats defensively throughout the year struggling on third down. They've answered that call today. Brent has been harassed all day. High throw, and what a catch. Quealy going airborne to bring it down for Georgia Southern.
And what a job to stay in the pocket, too. Not only a great catch, but what in? He knows he's going to get hit. Standing in the pocket, just gets rid of it as he gets hit from both sides. And how about that? Holding on to that football on the way down with one arm. Converted for the first down.
A couple of good catches today for Quealy. Spent 5 years at Syracuse. Really good year for the Orangemen in 2020. Quick screen for Caleb Hood. Looking for some blocks. Don't really develop. Hood only gains 3, and it's 2nd and 7.
Well, Holt just does just a great job. Holton that's your job as a safety, is you got to hold your ground. He holds his ground, turns it back to the inside. Holloway comes from the inside to help him.
Yet another Incarnate Word transfer having an impact for G.J. Kinney in year 1 at Texas State. 2nd and 6. Bren throws out with the defense converging around him.
That's got to be intentional grounding.
Well, G.J. Kinney is out from his coaching box begging for the flag.
Does a great job standing up, using his streak to be there, and then gets it out of his hands. But there wasn't a receiver in 15 yards of the football.
This is a spot foul, also lost it down.
The huge part of this is the loss of down.
So they retroactively do apply the intentional grounding. So again, that Texas State pressure. Defensive coordinator Jonathan Patke really dialing it up today.
Yeah, getting back to where we said, I mean, at one point 3 weeks ago, they led the nation in tackles for losses.
It's been MO for Patke's defenses, and Incarnate Word last year, they led the nation in tackles for loss. Have 4 today, 3 sacks of Bren. One of the best games they played all season. Here's Bren. Pressure coming again. Sidesteps. Bren throws late to the sidelines, and the catch not made. Incomplete. Going for Cobb. Too close to the sideline, and Georgia Southern's going to have to punt the ball away.
Well, the pressure, again, talking exactly what we were talking before the snap, the pressure forced him out of the pocket quickly, and then the receivers are having to come off their routes, come back to the football. He does buy enough time outside, but the ball was out of bounds. When it was caught, it's going to lead to a punt.
Punt coming from Alex Smith. There's Holbert back to return. Left-footed punt from Smith. Holbert, the fair catch at the 25-yard line. Talked about G.J. Kinney. What a year ago, and Incarnate Word takes over this program trying to turn it into a contender. Look what he's done in year 1. Keith, the numbers from a year ago compared to this season.
Well, I think the 2 things that came off the board when you and I talked back early this summer, we talked about it. I thought one of the first things that we would see is an improvement in scoring. Not necessarily how you're going to do, but it's just going to come up from 21.1 points per game. I think that's the thing that jumps off the page. 14 points. That's 2 touchdowns more a game. That's going to lead to wins, and you can see the difference in 5 wins already, going for 6 today.
Now looking for win number 3 in the Sun Belt. After forcing the punt, here's a run for Davenport. Davenport takes that across the 30 to the 32 on a gain of about 6.
They'll still go pretty quickly. They like to run snaps, but I don't think it'll be, well, here comes NASCAR quick.
And this team kind of feels like they only know one pace here, Keith, as Davenport is sent back after a short gain at the 34. Going to bring up 3rd down, 4 to go. Bobcats dropped a week 2 game at UTSA, came back the following week, beat Jackson State, putting up 77. Lost their second Sun Belt game in Louisiana, came back the following week. A 4th quarter comeback win against ULM. And coming off a loss against Troy, it looks like another bounce back effort today here for G.J. Kinney and his team, up 38-10.
Well, you look at the scenario of where you're at right now with this ball game, with an opportunity. There's so many things that are involved. 1, 6 win, no question. The other part is you put yourself 1 game behind Troy. Yes, they had the victory last week here, but also you're still trying to find a way to represent the West in the Sun Belt Championship. So not only did this win get you bowl eligible, and that's a wonderful thing, but you're in November. Wins are so important, because if you win this one, it gives you a chance to go up next week, which, albeit on the road, with an opportunity to stay close in the race.
You talk to this team, and certainly making a bowl game is a goal, but they want that to become an expectation. All right, we're going to go to a bowl game. What else can we do?
Yep.
Still plenty of time to go in this one. Over 20 minutes left with the Bobcats, a sizable 4-touchdown lead. 3rd and 4, Davenport. Again, this time a 1st down and almost breaking free. He was 1 jersey tackle from Watson Trent away from going to the house.
Just how strong is he to hold him down? It looked like Davenport was running right out of it. Threw it right here, just enough to get on that jersey and get him to the ground, but a 1st down.
Here's Finley back to work. Finley stepping up. Finley tucks it away, trying to protect the football first and foremost. Tyrell Davis on the tackle for the Eagles, and a Bobcat is slow to get up.
Extracurricular going on here.
Dorian Strong was the one who was slow to get up. I do notice, by the way, Bray Walker is back out there for the Bobcats at right guard.
Well, that's a big catch. I didn't catch that. These numbers, as we get darker, a little bit harder to see, I can tell you.
How do you miss him, Keith? He's 6'7", 350.
Well, he's a big man. I shouldn't.
One of the largest human beings I've ever come across, Walker. Here's a blitz from Georgia Southern. Davenport, a big, heavy dose of him on this drive, bouncing it to his left, shedding a tackle. Davenport, good run. Good effort, bouncing off of a couple of Eagles to the 40-yard line. 15 yards, and this offense not slowing down.
Yeah, doing a great job, and that's those 5 guys up front getting the job done.
Well, the way the Bobcats have controlled time of possession has been a sight to behold today. They've held the ball for over 23 minutes. The Eagles just over 15. And a lot of these scoring drives of theirs have been long, drawn-out drives, too. Multiple plays each time.
Converting. Moving the chains.
It's one of the top 1st down offenses in the country, Texas State. Here's Hobart on the screen. Breaks a tackle. And Hobart still running. Hobart banged out of bounds. Thought he may have tightrope the sideline, but they're going to mark him out. Meanwhile, the Eagle defender who made the play, Tyrion Lee, is down on the knee at the 15.
What a run. Gets contact after the catch and then gets hit there and then turns it upfield and almost stays in bounds.
Lee Axel not involved in the play itself, but he is down right now. Get a first-year transfer from Texas A&M being looked at here. That play good for 14 for Hobart, $130 on the day for him, and Lee's going to go to the sideline here for Georgia Southern.
Another red zone opportunity for the Bobcats. This offense has been spectacular today. It has been rhythm since we started the ballgame. I mean, right out of the first drive, and it stayed in rhythm the entire time, and a lot of that is because those big guys up front.
You know, and it felt like last week's red zone turnover against Troy impacted the Bobcats' remainder of the game. The red zone turnover early in this one, they shrugged it off.
Yep.
And they have responded in a huge way.
Got to grow each week, Brant.
Yep. 7th trip of the red zone today. They've come away with 4 touchdowns and a field goal so far in the first 6 and the turnover. Davenport again. Davenport sheds a tackle in the backfield. Davenport dropped at the 5-yard line. Boy, he has looked really good on this drive so far.
I like his vision, too. Watch right here. He's got one guy that he's got to make him miss. He does, gets to the outside, and boy, I tell you what, then finish. Cut back to the inside and finish.
Right back to work, Davenport. Bulldozing his way inside the 5. Tracked down at about the 3-yard line. Another long drive for the Bobcats, and Davenport shaking off Monty, telling him, go back, I got this. You talk about a guy who wants the ball right now. That's Tenario Davenport.
Let me finish this one. He's had an excellent drive here.
8 carries, 58 yards for Davenport. You can see he's laboring some, but he wants to stay in. You see the Bobcats call his number. 2nd and goal. Finley on the RPO. Finley is stonewalled at around the 2. Trying to find the end zone for a 3rd time today.
I tell you what, you've talked about it. That's a big man you're stopping right there. 260 pounds going forward. And boy, I tell you what, that was a good blow. Now jumbo package into the game for the Bobcats.
I mean, imagine somebody Joey Bosa's size who can throw the football. That's kind of what TJ Finley is.
It's what he is. He's a defensive end. Jumbo big package into the game here.
Just became a dad for the first time last week. Congratulations to he and his fiance. Welcoming twins as Davenport leaps into the end zone for the touchdown.
And them big guys up front got the great push off of the line of scrimmage. And Davenport finished. What a drive for him individually in that drive. Just outstanding through the air and on the ground. What a job getting into the end zone.
When Davenport said he wanted the football, he got the football and takes it in for the touchdown. 3rd touchdown of the year for Davenport, 2nd on the ground. And the Bobcats are pulling away. 11 plays, 74-yard drive. They really have not been stopped at all today, and the point after makes it 45-10. All Texas State, and they are closing in on that coveted 6th win here in their house at Bobcat Stadium. Not a score I think many saw coming. All Texas State, Bobcats have been dominant over a Georgia Southern team, which has been one of the best teams in the East Division this year. 45-10, all Texas State coming off yet another scoring drive, capped off by the Tenario Davenport touchdown.
62 plays from scrimmage for 448 yards. You look at that, nearly twice as many plays as Georgia Southern, who only have 161 total yards in the game. Texas State has outgained them by 287 yards at this point of the game.
Such a great start, too, for the Eagles. Made some plays, special teams on defense, a huge 3rd down run for White, but not much beyond that. Buchanan will take it out about 5 yards deep, and Buchanan won't reach the 15-yard line. So the Eagles come back out on offense, and you look at Texas State's defense. Keith, you talked about the secondary being challenged here today. They've come through with the way they have played against a really good Georgia Southern offense. But now we take a look at quarterbacks, the top-rated transfer quarterbacks in the country. The grades came from ESPN.com. We're seeing 2 of them tonight, TJ Finley and Davis Brin. Finley's had a great day for Brin against that Bobcat defense. It's been kind of tough.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit today, but he's been under pressure. He's had to move around all day long. And this great play here to start this drive, though.
That's Jalen White Good carry there. White's been one of the few bright spots for the Eagles, closing in at 100 yards for a third straight game.
Got to have time. Quarterbacks can deliver the football, but they're under stress the whole time with pressure. It's hard for them to deliver the football. Great run here, great block up front. Kick out block, got him to the outside.
In fact, with that run, White is over 100 for the third straight game. Players had a huge workload as of late, 11 carries so far tonight. Bren remains the game with the Eagles down 35. And there's White again off the right side.
Just do run an overload, put the man in motion, come back to the tight end side. And this really good play design. Second time we've seen it on this drive.
So far, Davis Brin talked about his night. Has been held under 100 yards passing. Playing with a lot of friends and family in attendance. Again, hometown of Bernie, about a stone's throw outside of St. Marcus. Here's White, meanwhile, turning on the Jets. Continue to be impressed by White. The Eagles have had so many great running backs over the years. Two of them currently in the NFL, Matt Breida and Jerick McKinnon. White having a good Eagle career in his own right.
Well, it's just a nice job blocking up front. Got into the second level before contact, and it's been all him on the ground. Timeout.
This is their second time out of 30 seconds.
So the timeout taken by G.J. Kenny. With a little more than a minute to go in the third, 45-10. Texas State on top. You know, we talked with Coach Held earlier in the week, and he makes the decision to take over Georgia Southern a couple of years ago. And, you know, the Eagles have been running the option-based offense forever, ever since the great Irk Russell brought the program back in the early 1980s. Georgia Southern, once upon a time in the 2000s, got away from it. They brought it back. Coach Helton brings in this air raid style of offense, and they have welcomed it with open arms. He's embraced the history of Georgia Southern while utilizing his own tactics, and the team made a bold a year ago, sitting at 6 wins right now, albeit a tough night, but he's been a good fit for the program.
Yeah, he has, but you know, you got to find that trigger man when you want to run your style of offense. But right now, they're running football and running it well.
Another first down pickup there for Jalen White. One of the things that Coach Shelton mentioned is that every day when he goes into the office, what does he see outside of his windows? Those 6 national championship flags waving. He understands the expectations and the winning tradition of Georgia Southern and putting his own stamp on the program. So far, 12-9 his record as head coach is taking over. Here's Brin, lets her rip over the middle, and this is J.J. McAfee. Walks in for the touchdown on a great throw from Davis Brin.
Well, you establish the run as they did on this one, go play action, and brings the linebackers up. And boy, I tell you what, this is an easy pitch and catch, and then he just splits the defense into the end zone.
This is an offense which will utilize the tight ends, the passing game. Really haven't seen a lot of that today. McAfee, second touchdown catch of the year, had 4 in this offense a year ago. Eagles' first touchdown since the opening quarter. And that is the 19th touchdown pass of the season for Davis Brin. So we talked about the Eagles program and the history of success. Really, no matter the level, Keith, you go back to the 1AA FCS days. Again, 6 national championships, 11-time conference champs. Since they joined the Sun Belt in 2014, the first year they won a conference championship, they've been to 3 bowls, about to go to a 4th. Or they've won 3 bowl games, I should say, and the all-time winning percentage.
That's the one that jumps off the page to me.
Yeah, in the modern era, it's 675 with close to 100 All-Americans.
That means you're winning 2 out of every 3 football games you kick off. That is an impressive statistic, no question.
And Clay Helton's team just rattled off a 5-play, 86-yard touchdown drive, but still plenty of wood to chop, down 28. 25 seconds to go in the third. That ended a scoring stretch for the Bobcats of 38 unanswered. How about that?
Wow.
Monty back to return. Does have a kick return for touchdown this year. Came in the conference opener at Southern Miss. Marty's going to return here from his own goal line. Marty, got wrapped up in a great open field tackle there for the Eagles. Prince Green on the tackle. The Bobcats take over with the third quarter winding down.
Green just comes in there. This is that's getting ripped to the ground right there. He had a seam too. I mean, he's the last line of defense, and Marty had a chance that one could have gone a long way.
Finley back out lead of the offense. What a day so far. 23 of 28. 16 yards shy of 300.
Used his legs today too.
He has. He scored twice on runs. And on first down, Finley, quick throw out to his left and able to hit the tight end Titus Lyons. Not somebody who sees the ball a lot. Good for about 5 yards there, and that might wind up being the final third quarter play.
I'll take it to the other end here.
So if you're the Bobcats, you're 15 football minutes away from becoming bowl eligible for the first time since 2014. Good game through 3 quarters. If you're G.J. Kinney, it's time for your team to finish leading 45-17 at the end of 3 in San Marcos. Three quarters in the books from San Marcos. As you can see, boy, that second quarter maybe where the game was won to this point for Texas State. Outscore the Eagles in 24-0. The play of the quarterback so far, and it's been T.J. Finley's night for Davis Brin. Kind of a tough night of the offense against a ferocious pass rush.
Well, he's been under stress all night long, no question about it. Great pick by Holloway on a play that was just a little bit underthrown, but Finley was just been spectacular, not only through the air, but on the ground tonight.
Fourth quarter underway. Here's Marty working on a pretty good night of his own, closing in at 100 yards. And Marty with that carry will move the sticks on the first play of the fourth quarter. Big day for Joey Hobart, 12 catches. Marty up to 91 yards rushing, but all Texas State so far leading 45-17. By the way, today is the final of a 3-game homestand for the Bobcats. Next 2 on the road. Going to face some pretty good competition. Coastal Carolina is up next in Conway this coming week. And the week after, they go to Arkansas State. And the Red Wolves, all of a sudden, looking pretty good. An impressive win for them today over Louisiana.
Yeah, no question about it. They're playing some of their best football. Again, it's November. November's when it starts to really count. Going on the road is also another difficult thing in the Sun Belt.
Here's Marty again. And that time driven back. Good pursuit there from Georgia Southern. Leader of the defensive charge, Justin Rhodes. Going to bring up third down and long.
A passing situation here. Trying to run some clock.
If you're the Eagles, you're trying to force Texas State's first punt of the game. Technically, they had one earlier, but remember, there was a penalty in Georgia Southern that wiped it out. No punt since then. Bobcats, a healthy 8 of 12 on third down. Finley trying to continue his mastery on this down. Going to take off and run. He takes a hit instead at the 40-yard line. Hit by Kadri Jackson, and that will in fact send out Seamus O'Kelly for the first time for a punt here tonight.
Yeah, Finley upset with himself, felt like he had a chance right here. He tries to cut it back to the inside and was a little bit off balance and didn't get a chance to use his full body strength to go forward, and it's going to lead to a punt. Like you said, haven't seen this formation very often in this game. Maybe one short on the field.
It is a delay of game against Texas State. And we'll spot the football 5 yards further back. Been a relatively clean game for G.J. Kinney's team, by the way. Only 3 penalties so far. Talked about self-inflicted wounds earlier. The Bobcats, really since the early stages of the game, have played pretty clean. And O'Kelly gets it away. A boomer of a punt. And Hood, the fair catch at the 23-yard line. Got a big game coming up in the Sun Belt Conference. It is a West Division showdown under the lights on Thursday in Lafayette as the Ragin' Cajuns host the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Kickoff from Cajun Field at 6:30 on ESPNU. How about Will Hall's Southern Miss team getting a win today over
Got a
ULM?
big one. That's a big win. And you know that University of Louisiana is going to be ready for that one after what took place this week, and they're dropping one on the road in Jonesboro.
That was the first Sun Belt win of the year for Southern Miss. And yes, the Ragin' Cajuns, who played so well against South Alabama last week, losing today in Jonesboro. Here's White going down the sidelines. He's had a good night. Jalen White, how about his numbers?
He's approaching 150 now.
15 carries for White and right around, 150 for the game.
He's got that explosive. Good block right at the point of attack. They've overloaded with 3 receivers to the top. And been able to run the ball here in the second half.
Officially, 15 carries, 158 yards for White. 16th carry of the game, looking for a hole, and White not going to find one. Got tracked down by Josh Eaton and Dan Foster Jr.
The 2 defensive tackles did a great job that time. No place for him to go. He's trying to sidestep around, but all those big bodies in there and tries to bounce it to the outside. Brought down for a loss.
I referenced Georgia Southern's option-based offense, which they had forever. On that note, Keith, 2 of the service academies playing today, Army and Air Force, and a stunner in Colorado Springs as Bryn spins that incomplete. There's a flag.
Yeah, there's contact. I thought it was incidental, but it's going to bring pass interference.
Going to get Josh Eden against Quealy. That'll move the sticks.
Trying to step inside it. There was contact, no question about it. Seemed to me it was their legs got tangled up, not their arms, but it's going to go as a PI.
Pass interference, defense, foul, and an automatic first down.
So a first down via penalty.
Yeah, how about that Army going to Colorado Springs and upsetting Air Force, who had just gotten themselves into the top 25.
An Army team that hadn't looked all that great this year.
It's not.
And you said it, Air Force is one of the top non-P5 teams in the country. Now, part of that conversation could be the Sun Belt's own James Madison. Could be an offsides call here against Eden. Back-to-back penalties against a transfer from Oklahoma.
Yeah, he was so far in the neutral zone that encroachment is, it'll be offsides, but they stop it because you don't want him a free shot at the quarterback.
Defense, number 1. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Most of the time quarterbacks, Brant, want that. If he sees offside, he's going to go deep. He wants that play, but sometimes the officials say he's so far off, we want to avoid injury. We're going to stop the play.
You and I have chronicled JMU a bit. Again, Duke's not eligible for the postseason. So if this game holds, if the Eagles can't come back and win, all of a sudden that East Division race to win the division and rep the Sun Belt, or rep the East rather than the Sun Belt title game, becomes wide open. Play fake. Little screen for McAfee, the tight end. Had a touchdown catch on the Eagles' last drive. Tracked down by Tavian Coleman. Going to bring up second down and short.
That's a nice job staying home by Coleman to come back. That play looked like it was set up, and the screen was set up. You think, oh, it's got a chance, but Coleman just kept moving. Big defensive tackle out there, making a tackle on the sidelines, looking up, say, hey, I can go sideline to sideline.
But Tavian Coleman, by the way, 6'1", 280. Believe it or not, he was an all-district tennis player in high school. This is the backup quarterback, J.C. French. Here for the Eagles, able to take that for a first down. So both quarterbacks with the formation there. And now French back at the sidelines.
Yeah, they were trying to, it looked like to me they were trying to set up something, and then he saw right here that there was nothing there on the pass. He said, I'm going to get what I can get, and he gets enough to get a first down.
French, a first-year transfer from Memphis. And Bren back to take the snap here for Georgia Southern. Had his big game against the Panthers last week. Kind of a tough night tonight. 10 minutes to go in the fourth. Down 28. Bren slings complete inside the 20. Able to hit Darren Burgess, who's had a really quiet night. So quiet, in fact, that his first catch of the game.
They've done a great job. I mean, these 4 wide receivers all got really good ability. That is his first catch, and did a nice job blocking up the blitz coming from the Bobcats that time. Gave him enough time to deliver the football.
Burgess 4th in the conference in catches coming in. Got his first one on the docket there. And now Quealy, the man in motion. Here's Bren going to the air, screen for Hood, and Bobcats with the open field tackle, but a first down for the Eagles. The drive continues. 7th play of the drive coming up.
It looked like it was set up right there. It did get enough to get the first down, but all this looked like, oh, this is going to do, and it's just a nice job of coming up and making the play, forcing him to earn it, taking time off this clock. Just about 9 minutes to go.
Eagles inside the red zone for the 15. 3rd red zone trip of the day for Georgia Southern. Here's Davis lofting that to the end zone, looking for a back shoulder, and there's the flag. Burgess drew the penalty against Chris Mills.
Well, there was a lot of hand fighting there with both sides, both trying to get loose. Flag comes in, and there's definitely contact. Both of them just didn't get a chance to look back for the football because of that.
First to go for the Eagles. Again, the quarterback, Davis Bren, first year at Georgia Southern. His predecessor, Kyle Van Treese, still a part of the program. He's the radio sideline reporter. And the two of them, really good friends. Bren and Van Treese. And Clay Helton telling us without the play of Van Treese, they don't get to recruit a player like Bren. Bobcats late getting a defender off. Now they do. First and goal for the 2-yard line. Here's Bren with the handoff, but false start. This play never happened.
Well, you get a first.
Offense, first down.
You know, it puts gray hairs on a coach. I mean, you're first and goal at the 2. You got a great opportunity here to get it in, and then you get an illegal procedure. It changes your play call. You know, now you're back out to 7-yard line. Still have your jumbo package in the game, though. You got the big boys in there. 2 tight ends.
Don't see a lot of this in today's game. Bren under center. Play fake to White. Bren under duress. And that pass in the end zone almost picks. But there is a flag. This could be roughing the passer against Texas State.
Contact to the head. See right here at the end as he rolls out. Just see if, see that right hand comes down on the face mask.
At the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, they catch Brian Holloway. Can't go high in the quarterback.
You know, you go up and you know, he didn't. It wasn't it was hit with his hand as he was coming down, but it did caught part of his mask, so it hit to the head's going to draw that penalty. It's going to now be first and goal again, this time just outside the 3.
Been a good try for the Eagles, but it's also been time consuming. It's eaten up about 4 minutes. They need points, down 28. Need them in a hurry. Here's a run off the left side, and that is White. Second time today. He's found pay dirt.
Well, power running, good drive to get down the field. Look at it, might be a little bit too late, but boy, they have finally found some of their offense here in the late 3rd quarter and into the 4th quarter here.
Good 7-play, 76-yard drive. Jalen White, well, his numbers are getting really good. Has toted the rock 17 times, $159, and a couple of trips into the end zone. So the Eagles have rattled off 14 straight of their own, trying to stay in the game, but trailing 45-24 Fourth quarter here in San Marcos with 8:40 left. Bobcats on top. This coming Saturday, the Bobcats are on the road for the first time in a month as they travel to Conway to face Grayson McCall and the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Next Saturday, just outside of Myrtle Beach, as you look at the beautiful scenery here in San Marcos. Sun is setting. Old Main, one of the landmark buildings on campus off in the distance. Eagles coming off the touchdown drive as we look ahead to Saturday's game. 2:30 kickoff at ESPN+. Bobcats facing Grayson McCall and Coastal Carolina. It's going to be a big game for both teams in another East versus West matchup like we're seeing tonight. Bobcats expecting the onside here. The deep man, Drew Donnelly, the ball shouldn't get near him. Here's the onside kick. Instead, no, they do go deep. And Donnelly going to let it go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Bobcats nursing a 21-point lead. They got the ball when we come back, leading 45-24 over Georgia Southern. A look at TJ Finley. What a difference a week makes, huh? His yardage is up, his touchdowns is up, or are up, but his interceptions, none this week after throwing 2 against Troy.
Yeah, and the other part of that is we did not see him use his feet last week whatsoever. I'm still going to throw that in. Those numbers are good, but still, he's used his feet tonight. Put it in the end zone. Also got a couple of first downs where he's put it down under pressure. So he's done a nice job. You can just feel he's been more comfortable in the pocket this week.
Eagles lined up for what we thought would be an onside kick. It didn't come. Do have all 3 timeouts left. Need the ball back in a hurry. First play in this drive. Monty, there's a face mask coming, and an easy spot there for the official. They're going to get Marquez Watson Trent for grabbing the face mask of Monty.
He just reaches out with that big paw and gets it, and there's no question about this.
Face mask. Defense.
See it right there. I mean, he just rips him all the way around. I don't know that he let go of it ever.
Marquez Watson Trent, leader again of this defense from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Huge pick 6 in the win over Georgia State last week, but kind of a quiet night so far. Been a tough day for this Eagle defense. The Bobcats have put up 45. They have punted only once. Just 1 turnover. Beyond that, all touchdowns and field goals.
Yeah, and Brent, one of the things, 2 things jump on. They have 465 yards, so they've got a lot, but only 68 plays. We've seen this team run 100 plays multiple times.
Tells you that the big plays that have been lacking the past couple of weeks have been there. G.J. Kinney, we're looking back at the film of the Troy game, thought they had a lot of left and meat on the bone in terms of the big plays against Troy. But tonight they're averaging about 7 yards a play. Here's Motti, and Motti squeezing through the right side. Eagles ripping for the football, brought down by Robertson on the play. And Motti picks up about 5 yards with 8 minutes to go.
Well, just a nice job. Good push up front, and he bounces it to the outside. Boy, they really going to strip that football. And one thing, it's nice to see him hold on to it. Monty's had a bad wrist on that left wrist, but he had that ball in his right hand that time.
You saw the number there, just how explosive Monty can be. Only Marshawn Lloyd of USC averaging more yards a play than Ismail Monty. His average of 170 all-purpose yards per game leads the country. Has 94 yards rushing tonight. Now he's over 100 yards. There goes Monty. Bangs into the secondary. Boy, he has a burst about him in the way that he runs with the football.
I think this is going to come back from a hold but boy, that's fun to watch. Watch this burst. You see it right there. Now all of a sudden, second gear. Gets it out into second gear, and he goes. It doesn't take him long to get there. This is going to come back from a hold, though.
And Monty took a hit, too, from T.J. Smith.
Offense, number 52. Replay, second down.
Flag called against Trenton Scott.
But watching Monty, his patience. He allows his offensive line to get their blocks, get on their blocks, and then, like you talked about, his acceleration is so impressive.
Just got to look at DJ Kinney. The Bobcats hold on, will move his career record as a head coach to 18-5. There's a dart thrown to Hobart, 13th catch of the day, and that ties a program record.
Well, he runs such great. That's why he goes right back to. I'll get to it after this play.
Bobcats quick to the ball. Here's Motti breaking a couple of tackles, and that'll move the sticks inside of midfield.
He gets open not with his great burst of speed, but it's an outstanding route. And he's run that inside seam at least 7 times tonight, and his pitch and catch, every one of them's been successful.
Yeah, feels like everything over the middle has been there for this passing offense. And Finley's picked the Eagles apart. He's now over 300 yards passing. Motti with that carry, now officially over 100 for the day. Hobart over 100 yards. Kind of reminds me of the day a bit of the old Dallas Cowboys, the big three, right? Aikman,
yep.
Smith, Irvin.
You get 3 guys going in the offense, things are good.
Motti trying to find some space here, and that's going to take him back under 100. Good tackle for loss from Tyrell Davis as we wind up inside of 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, first timeout, I believe a timeout call by the Eagles. Georgia Southern trying to preserve some time on this clock.
So, timeout, Clay Helton and the Eagles with 5:50 left, and the Bobcats perhaps on their way to milestone win number 6. Back out at Bobcat Stadium, Texas State cruising 45-24 the lead. Under 6 minutes to go, coming out of the Eagles' called timeout. Something that Keith was pointing out during the break, the Bobcats in this game have 30 first downs.
30? That's a phenomenal number.
Over 200 for the year. Bobcats 12th in the country in first downs coming into the night. That ranking could go up by night's end. Second out of 12, Finley. Looking for a backside screen, didn't really develop there, going from Motti. They'll stop the clock with 5:51 to go.
It's a smart play. Don't chance it. If he tries to force that football, it could get pick 6 and go the other way. And he just threw it into the ground outside of the tackle box. It didn't have to get to the back to the line of scrimmage because the running back is in the vicinity. It was right at his feet. So now it's going to bring up a big third down here.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Bobcats keep it on the ground, try to keep that clock moving, or force Clay Helton to use a timeout.
They're going to be backed up 5 more.
I think Cole Wilson jumped early. And the Bobcat receiver was the one who jumped.
Now I think you could see draw for sure now.
Oh, yeah. And they're going to look at Clay Helton, son of a coach as well. Kim Helton, his dad, longtime coach in the college and NFL ranks. And in fact, Clay played for his dad, Kim, at the University of Houston in the mid-90s. And here's a quarterback draw for Finley. And Finley trying to protect the football first and foremost. Gets brought down right around midfield. Tackle made by Uludge Fall, and that'll lead to a timeout from Clay Helton. And so the Eagles spin their second timeout of the half. They got 1 left inside of 5:45 to go, 45-24. Bobcats on top will step aside. Texas State trying to close things out. Eagles looking for a miracle comeback under 6 minutes to go. All right, Keith, now we'll look at tonight's connection of the game, and here's your boy again, Joey Hobart, on the receiving end of this dot from TJ Finley.
Well, it's just an outstanding back shoulder throw, and what a catch to go up, contested catch. And boy, he has been a connection all night. Great night.
That play kind of a microcosm of the night between those two. Hobart 13 catches and Findlay over 300 yards passing. Here's Hood trying to make a play and going to be lucky to reach the 10-yard line.
Well, it's a great job of keeping contained on the outside. As you're one of the gunners, you got to keep containment. Just wouldn't allow him around the corner. Comes up with a big stop of a guy that can really fly if he gets the corner. Now 5:32 to go, down 3 scores. Got to go quick, 1 timeout.
Saw Clay Helton use 2 of the timeouts on the last possession for Texas State. Trying to preserve time, leave as much time on the clock as possible, but a lot of work to do if you're the Eagles here. Ball back up to the 10-yard line, down 21.
Yeah, going to play 2 deep safeties here. You're going to keep things in front of you. Rush 4. You know, it's one of those things where you're going to surrender some yardage, but try not to surrender points.
On first down, here's a run for the Eagles, so no White out on the field. Instead, it is Terrence Gibbs, first carry of the night. Good for about 9 yards as he spells White on that first play.
Well, you'll surrender 9 yards, doesn't stop the clock. Clock continues to run.
Maybe the night done for White. 17 carries, over 150 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for the Eagles. Again, one of their bright spots today. Here's a pass lofted to the near side. Good catch from Sanders. That'll move the chains with 5 minutes to go.
They had to put that air under because there was a defender in between.
Yeah.
It did a nice job of dropping that right over the top. It moves the chains and a first down. Clock continues to move. No chain stoppage until we get inside 2 minutes.
You know, again, maybe Brent has not had his best night in terms of numbers, but you see the flashes, and the reason why G.J. Kinney told us that his skill set is as good as we've seen from anybody all year. Good touch on that throw. It's down at 10. Here's another run for Gibbs. And goes across the 35-yard line for maybe 3 as we approach 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, nice job at middle linebacker. Brian Holloway, you can see him right here. He's followed the play all the way across. Just keeps bouncing to the outside right there. You'll give up 3 yards at this point of the ballgame. Every time that they change, you're going to change just to slow and the clock down.
Eagles will be on the road again next week, facing Marshall, trying to give some payback to the Thundering Herd as we see a rope there from Bryn to Caleb Hood. What a pass over the middle, hitting Hood in stride for a first down on the 25-yard line.
Boy, he did find that seam, and he shows you that explosiveness right here. This is a perfectly thrown football, catches him in stride down at the 25-yard line. That didn't take long.
Right over the head of Sean Holden. One of the better passes from Davis Bryn tonight. And Hood with the catch, 7th of the game. On first down, Bryn steps up on the run. Bryn's got plenty of room. Bryn inside the 10 and then goes out of bounds.
Now he saw that gap open, and all the receivers were on deep posts across the middle. Defenders had their back turned. He puts it down right here, and he sees that split, not even thinking about throwing it. He's going to run it as far as he can and get out of bounds.
Last 2 plays have picked up 56 yards for the Eagles. They've gone from their own 10-yard line to the Bobcats' 7. And now a Texas State player's down. This is Tavian Coleman down for Texas State. So I mentioned again the Eagles at Marshall next week. Talked about payback. The Thundering Herd beat the Eagles last year in Statesboro. And the Eagles are going to road heavy slate to end the year at Marshall next week. A home game against Old Dominion, and then on the road to face an all too familiar rival at Appalachian State. A rivalry that goes back in their days together in the SoCon, the Southern Conference.
Yeah, you just look at that, and they're in position that they're going to have to win 3 out of their last 4 were on the road, and at this point it looks like they're going to drop this one now anything can happen. There's still 2:50 to go in the ball game, and they got an opportunity to find a way to get in the end zone. But you know, you go to Marshall, Huntington, it is a hard place to win.
All three of those games against Eastern Division teams, and again, the race for the Sun Belt title game to rep the East is going to be tight. JMU is not eligible. So you have a number of teams fighting for that East Division championship spot. It kind of feels like Troy's got a pretty good leg up for the West. Still 3 weeks to go in the season. Anything could happen.
Yeah, that was a big win for them at South Alabama on Thursday night. Puts them in really good spot. They're going to have at least a one-game lead on everybody in the West.
And the tiebreakers against Texas State and South Alabama already as well. They also beat Arkansas State, who have, as we talked about, they're starting to pick things up. They've won 2 in a row. Out of the injury stoppage, under 3 minutes to go. First and goal for the 7. Bren looking. Bren swings it out, and Quealy going to be dropped at about the 7. Didn't really pick up much of anything, and the clock's going to continue to tick inside of 2.5.
Yeah, didn't take the play fake. They were trying to go play action. You can see the pump fake right there, trying to get a defender to come up, had to come check back down, and everybody swarms to the football. Clock continues to run.
Second down and goal. Bren steps up on the run, slides, and his slide began at the 5. And that's where they'll mark the football.
Got to get down when you need to get down. Bren knew he was in trouble. He had to buy enough time to call a timeout here. Got to save those precious seconds on the clock, even though it's just going to be third down. But they just want to save that time with 1:50 to go in the ball game.
So the timeout taken with 110 seconds left. You know, for the Bobcats, again, they're on the road next week at Coastal Carolina, and again the week after against Arkansas State, finishing the year at home against South Alabama. If Troy slips up and a window cracks for the Bobcats, that is their path, perhaps, to represent the West. Going to be tough, though, with that type of schedule and the way Troy's playing.
Yeah, the way Troy's playing, they've put themselves in great position. Also got extra days to rest after playing on Thursday night, even though they had a quick turnaround after playing the Bobcats here. And the other thing, going on the road, Coastal, on the road at Coastal is one of those things you look at, and then you got to go to Jonesboro.
I also feel like Troy's biggest tests have already come and gone. Their schedule not quite as daunting as some of the others. They definitely have the fast track to rep the West for a second straight year. All right, out of the timeout, each team one left. Obviously 4-down territory, and the ball is fumbled on the exchange. And the Eagles have turned it over for a second time tonight, and that will serve as a final nail in the coffin.
Still a mad scramble for the football here. See, I haven't seen an official come up yet.
Our head official.
The referee comes up, said it is Texas State football.
Was a fumble recovered by the defense. The ball belongs to Texas State. First and 10.
Georgia Southern's done such a great job this year in forcing turnovers, but conversely, they've coughed it up quite a bit as well. Only 6 teams in the nation have given the ball away more than the Eagles. That is their 21st turnover of the year.
Yeah, it's hard to win football games and be as successful as they have been. I mean, they come in at 6-2 with that many. Now, they also get turnovers. They've been good at that part of it too, but that should seal the deal right there.
So, Keith, if you're the Bobcats, still work to be done, certainly as far as the year is concerned. However, they just checked off one of their major to-do list items, get 6 wins, become eligible, and the circumstances for bowl games far different than it was the last time they were eligible. Not as many Sun Belt tie-ins.
the video review.
So they're going to go back and take a look at the fumble recovery here to see if it is, in fact, Texas State football. We're getting back to the conversation. Back in 2014, the Sun Belt only had 4 bowl tie-ins. Far more now, and with so many more bowls beyond the Sun Belt tie-ins, it feels like if you get to 6, you're going to go. Can't make any promises, certainly, until it's said and done. But the program has to feel very good about their chances of finally going to the postseason.
I agree. First of all, you're guaranteed, no matter what happens, a 500 record on the season.
First time in 9 years.
First time that you see that. So second part of that is it gives you the month of November to get that 7th win, and I think at 7, you're almost guaranteed.
There's no doubt
that you're going to be able to get those extra practices, which are so important, especially to teams that are growing and programs in the first year. It's a brand new program under the direction of that man right there you see on the screen.
With covered by the deep. 1st and 10.
It is Texas State football. So those extra workouts are important, extra camaraderie. There's everything that goes with it. And then the last part of it, the support for a program that you're trying to build really changes when all of a sudden, hey, we're going to see them somewhere in a bowl game, somewhere down the line. That is a major factor.
You know, one of the concerns when the Bobcats won 7 games back in 2014, 9 years ago, was will there be fan turnout? And you look at the way Bobcat fans have attended games this year, specifically at home, been tremendous turnouts. Tonight, 18,000. Each of the first 4 home games, over 20,000. They showed up at Baylor. They went to UTC, to San Antonio. They showed that they could travel a bit. So I would think the appeal of the program is far more enticing for the bowl committees than it was back in 2014.
Yeah, we're fixing to get a shower down here if we can get it on the head coach. They've got the bucket hidden as he take this. And
yep, there it is, a Gatorade bath. And if you're DJ Kenny, that's got to feel good.
Well, I saw it coming. I didn't want to surprise anybody, but I wanted. It's a big moment. Now, does that mean that that you accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish? Absolutely not. But it is a big moment for a first-year coach and a new program.
Well, look at the expression there. Brian Holloway visiting with his head coach. Holloway, one of the few holdovers from a year ago, part of a team that only won 4 games last year, has won more than 4 in 9 years. They've got 6 this season, and for the first time in close to a decade, Texas State is bowl eligible.
It's just huge. It really impressive performance. They're bowl eligible. They came out offensively tonight. It was they came out early in the game and created what they wanted offensively, and they did it the entire night.
And TJ Finley is bowling. How about that moment there? Some of the fans have spilled out onto the field. One of the best moments in this stadium in a very, very long time. There's a mob around G.J. Kenny momentarily. Cora will try to sift through the crowd and visit with him to talk about what is a milestone win for this program. And this team, this fan base is feeling it. The Bobcats feel like they're bowl bound here in 2023.
I guarantee we will hear one other thing about this, that our season is not over, that all this. Yeah, I know what coaches will say, but it was still, it's a big moment for these young men down on the field.
G.J. Kenny being embraced by his athletic director, Don Coryell. The expression on his face says it all. What a turnaround for this program. Over the past 9 years, seasons of 3 wins, 2 wins, 4 wins, tough losses, blowout losses. the ball not bouncing their way. It has bounced their way this year. Through 9 games, a record of 6-3. And how about the two quarterbacks? TJ Finley, Malik Hornsby meeting, and now GJ Kinne visiting with the family, wife Summer and his children. What a moment here in San Marcos.
And again, you want to enjoy this moment, no question about it. But I would guarantee you that these guys, as soon as they get in the locker room, one of the first things is enjoy this moment, but we still got work to do. It's still November. There's still 3 football games left.
All right, Coral, you're visiting with GJ Kinne down in the field. Take it away.
Coach, the first time this program is bowl eligible in a decade. How did the relationships in this room with this brand new team get it done tonight?
Yeah, just really proud of the staff and these players, the administration for giving me an opportunity. And this is a special team, and for us to go out and get it at home, that's a big one. That's a big one. So just really proud of these guys.
Now, the way in which they did it today, a big game in every phase of it. I have to ask you about your defense. They were on a mission. How do you evaluate their performance?
Yeah, really proud of those guys. It was a team effort, offense, defense, special teams. We got the job done. That's all that matters.
Lastly, Coach, over 30 first downs for your team today. How were they able just to move the chains and sustain these drives and stay in a rhythm all night?
Yeah, we got a really good offense, and you know, we really should have scored more. It's just part of it, but we did what we had to do to win the game.
Now, Coach, I know this is just one thing on the checklist this year. You're not done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thank you, Coral. So if you're a Bobcat fan now, Keith, you got to think about maybe going to New Orleans, maybe going to Orlando to the Cure Bowl, maybe go to Alabama, to Montgomery or Mobile, one of the several Sun Belt Bowl tie-ins. What a special moment for GJ Kinne and his program.
Yeah, he won't get it right there, but he's very excited. There's no question about it. And this team and this university is excited about it. But you want to enjoy tonight and then go back to work tomorrow.
Yep, GJ Kinne has what he calls a 24-hour rule. They'll enjoy it tonight, then it's on to Coastal Carolina next week. But we know this, it has been a special season tonight, a special game for this program. So for Keith Moreland, I'm Brain Freeman saying so long. From Bobcat Stadium, the final score, Texas State 45, Georgia Southern 24. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. From San Marcos, good night.